Employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK. Only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
हनी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
There are a swathe of people in our country, Admiral Tripathi, who today want to do something. They may not be wearing the uniform, and I believe that they want to help the country achieve the target you want.
We created 2 standing task forces under 2-star officers. So we said, you go out to the industry, you go out to the defense ecosystem, and you cull out what is it that it is useful to us, and therefore we can then engage with you. All those who are working in the defense ecosystem and you've got anything, any technology which you think is useful, could be useful for us, please reach out to us.
Indian Ocean region, if you see the region right now, it is becoming a place of contestation. How you view the increasing maritime contestation?
21st century is going to be Indian Ocean century. We have to be ready to deal with situations across the spectrum with our extensive maritime domain awareness and our reach and sustainability. And if we were to call to do certain things in any level of spectrum, we are ready to do that.
From our security and maritime point of view and the present situation that's happening globally, what impact is it having on your strategies?
We learn from every event, every opportunity, not only from our own experiences, but also from what is happening around the world. The Indian Navy is fully geared up to face any challenges of any kind.
Warriors of the CRPF are not just defending democracy, they are redefining it. They are proving that national security and gender equality are interconnected. A secure nation must be an inclusive nation. On behalf of Central Reserve Police Force, I reaffirm our commitment to strengthening women's participation, leadership, and excellence in the service of a great nation.
Hit by
Afghans and rocked by POK protests. Snubbed by Saudi and attacked by the Baloch. Pakistan hammered from all sides. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Do say that Operation Sindoor is still on, and when we get a chance in the next round, we hope we have the opening shot.
As a Navy, we do believe that we have got the ability to carry out large-scale destruction. If given an opportunity in any future eventuality, we hope that we are the first one to fire that salvo.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
So tonight the story not being told on other channels, how Pakistan is getting hammered from all sides. And at 9 o'clock tonight, Trump begins to face massive internal criticism. We question if America is trying, possibly more Trump, whether Trump is trying to make this look like a religious crusade. And ladies and gentlemen, the big story is what is happening to Pakistan. The biggest loser, Pakistan, in a lot of trouble tonight. We have gone to our reporters, stringers, to those giving us information on the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that there is a hammering Pakistan is getting from Afghanistan. I want to begin by showing you 5 visuals tonight. Full frame. Visual 1, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we can see that it is night as the strike is carried out. In seconds, we see the explosions pop up and light the dark sky over Pakistan. A man can be heard in the background muttering quietly, Allahu Akbar, multiple times. Listen to this.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, that's an attack by the Afghans on Pakistan. In the second visual, you can see a Pakistani post being blown into smithereens. See the scale of the debris from the sheer intensity of the explosion.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Visual number 3, we see protesters in the heart of Kabul, ladies and gentlemen, against Pakistan. Strong support for the Taliban military action against Pakistan. Visual number 4. Local protesters chanting against the Pakistan government. Asif Munir, Murdabad. They are saying Shehbaz Hussain, Murdabad. This, ladies and gentlemen, is happening in Skardu, in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where over a dozen people have been killed by Asif Munir's security forces.
हम अपने इन जज्बात के साथ अपने शोहदा का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। हम वो कौम हैं, गरीब मुर्दाबाद, बगैर डर और खौफ के मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद।
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, visual number 3, the video from POK where people have risen against the Pakistani army and have set key assets ablaze. These, ladies and gentlemen, are exclusive visuals. Now let me show you a map. In this map, you see India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The highlighted area shows a region facing multiple tensions. choking Pakistan's borders. Pakistan and Afghanistan are confronted over the Durand Line, 2,600-kilometer border, contested, originally drawn in 1893. And ladies and gentlemen, at right of the top of Pakistan's map, you see Skardu, where the protests I just showed you the visuals from are happening. It's game over for Pakistan. 6 reasons why. 1, the Durand Line is hot. The first reason why it's game over for Pakistan. The Durand Line is hot. 2,600-kilometer Durand Line. 66,000 civilians displaced. Neither side is blinking. And Afghanistan has 40 years of experience destroying superpowers. Things are looking bad for Asif Munir. Reason number 2, Iran is breathing down Pakistan's neck. IRGC Commander Sartaj Hussain Nijad has warned Pakistan that if Pakistan is going to work anymore with America, then they will pay a price. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why Asif Munir is saying nothing these days. More importantly, Pakistan cannot afford the Iran war. They cannot fight wars they cannot pay for. Pakistan is on its 24th or 25th bailout from the IMF since 1958. I'm on reason 3. 66 years of financial dependency. External debt of 150 billion. They have to pay 25 billion. They don't have the money. Defense spending is up. The country can't afford groceries. It can't fight a war. Reason number 4, the TTP is eating Pakistan alive. Pakistan created the monster TTP. Now the monster is eating it alive. Terror attacks inside Pakistan have surged 40%. Ladies and gentlemen, reason number 5, Balochistan. It's burning and there is no fire brigade. The BLA has run a week-long terror campaign across Balochistan. A suicide bomber walked into a Shia mosque in Islamabad, killed 36 people. Asif Munir is unable to do anything because he's run short of soldiers to deploy. And lastly, all the shoulders Pakistan used to cry on are busy elsewhere. They have 3 friends they used to call in a crisis. America doesn't care. China is not picking up the calls. Turkey is too busy defending itself. Ladies and gentlemen, Turkey is watching its own economy go up in flames. There's nobody to help Pakistan. So the last point tonight is that is this a great opportunity for us here in India? Well, we are right. And the world is always on the side of people who are right. Pakistan is wrong. We have to do nothing. Mark my words. We don't have to balkanize Pakistan. Pakistan is going to balkanize itself from within. It's a matter of time. Please spread this video, especially to the Pakistanis. They must know what's happening to them.
Afghan people, we are not the people of defeat, and we are not the people of weak people, and they all against attackers.
In the last few days, Afghanistan has pummeled Pakistan, as seen in this video as a Pakistani post is blown up at the Durand Line. Taliban has sent drones to strike the Noor Khan base. The mood in Kabul is clear. Teach them a lesson.
He said that we want peace with every country, but he said, included Pakistan, if any country want to decide and occupy Afghanistan soil, and now they said that they will be a target, but they will be with the other people. I am coming out because in the stadium there is no places, and I camp in the road in this place also. The thousands of Afghan people that they come out and they said about Pakistan, and they said when Pakistan in any country want to occupy Afghanistan, and they will be against them. You are saying live videos from the Kabul city. I come out from this side, and there is the thousands of the people of Afghans. They have included by many. One thing, sir, I'm reporting live for Republic, and.
Republic is in Kabul, where people's anger against Pakistan is spilling onto the streets.
I'm in the Kabul city now and reporting for Republic. You know that thousands of people are gathering today, and this in security provision. All the people from the different sides of Kabul, they come together and they stayed against the Pakistan. And they, that time, that last night, and during lines, the Afghan Taliban army has killed dozens of Pakistani armies, and they destroyed many checkposts of Pakistani army and Host, Shia, and Naval.
Afghanistan has hit multiple border posts along the Durand Line, a 2,600-kilometer long border that separates Pakistan and Afghanistan. It has even struck deep inside Pakistan. It's unprecedented. Pakistan is being hammered in what is now a three-front war. The Pakistan Taliban is in control of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. At home, the Tehreek-e-Taliban carried out coordinated strikes against Pakistani forces. 18 attacks across 10 provinces, jolting Pakistan to its core. In Pakistan-occupied Kashmir's Skardu, Pakistan is unable to maintain law and order, opening fire at its own. 38 Shias killed point blank. As these visuals show, and Pakistan army is facing a backlash for losing control. Hammered from all sides, Pakistan is clearly the biggest loser in the war.
Talk back right now in the studio that can be fixed live. I have with me on the show this evening General G.D. Bakshi, Colonel Shailendra Singh, and a great voice from Afghanistan, Nisar Ahmad Sherzai. And I want to tell to the people of Afghanistan through you, Nisar Ahmad Sherzai, the people of India are with the people of Afghanistan. It is a very difficult time. You are fighting the Pakistanis very strongly. Your army is moving. We have visuals. We were in Kabul, and I think we are with you in your battle for justice. Raja Faisal is with us tonight from Islamabad. Adnan Haidar and Uzma Kardar are also there. And I want to show you some visuals. And the visuals I am showing are from Skardu. In Skardu, you know what happened, Colonel Shailendra? The Shias were protesting against the assassination of Khamenei. And Asif Munir ordered the shooting on the Shia protesters. Raja, 17 people died. 17 people died.
There is
17 people died.
And it's not 17. It's not 17, number one. And number two, Arnab, you very
17 people were killed.
The map you were using,
Asif Munir,
you're showing Skardu right next to Afghanistan. I don't know who gives you these kind of maps. You have a very oddly created maps.
Look at the visuals of the people, Raja. Forget maps for a minute. Look at the visuals of the people who have been killed in Skardu, and these visuals today. Ladies and gentlemen,
the visuals, they are not from today. They have been obviously circulating since more than 2 years now, 2 days now.
Visuals,
because
please,
as soon
you
as
decide 2 years or 2 days.
We had the shahadat of Ali Khamenei. Right after that, of course, we saw that these protesters, they were on the roads, and respect for them. We have respect for them, but as long as these protests are peaceful protests.
And that's what Pakistan has been obviously asking them. And there is an office which belongs to United Nations, and that office got toshed.
General Bakshi, can you hear me? Raja, General Bakshi, can you hear me?
Arnab, I can.
General Bakshi, we have seen a terrible incident in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where a total of 38 people have been killed. Asif Munir, who has not been seen in public for the last 1 week, has carried out the worst massacre of Shia Muslims. 38 people have been killed, 17 in one instance. This is brutality at another level on the Shia community in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, General Bakshi. And it's not being done at a time when they're already in trouble.
Arnab, may I remind you how Pervez Musharraf, when he was the brigadier commanding in Skardu, he had brought in Sunni tribesmen from the frontier to carry out a massacre of the Shias, and at that time over 600 Shias had been murdered in cold blood in the rioting engineered by the Pakistan army, no less a persona than Pervez Musharraf, the so-called commando general.
What's your source of information, sir?
Source of information, you read his own biography. You know, he had crushed that particular thing with an iron hand. With an iron hand, he had brought.
Then I think there's no need to talk about it anymore.
Raja, the link with General Bakshi is not very good. I want to show some pictures. Colonel Shailendra, can I show you on the left, and please see this. Adnan Haider ji, zara gaur se suniye. लोग कैसे पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर में शहबाज शरीफ मुर्दाबाद, आसिफ मुनीर मुर्दाबाद कह रहे हैं. You listen to this. I want to play the audio. Full frame, no grommets, raw footage, audio up.
And full feeder as well.
अदनान हैदर शायद आवाज क्लियरली आ चुकी है. आसिफ मुनीर मुर्दाबाद. किसका डर और किसका खौफ है? मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद. और वहां पे जितने लोग हैं वो कह रहे हैं आसिफ मुनीर मुर्दाबाद, आसिफ मुनीर मुर्दाबाद. क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जो शिया लोगों का नरसंहार यानी कि मैसेकर हुआ है. चिल्लाइए मत.
अदनान हैदर जवाब देगा.
अदनान फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल काम डाउन कीजिए.
The game is totally over for you people. This doomsday scenario that you are showing on your public TV, it's nothing but a pack of lies. Nothing but a pack of lies. Nothing but your propaganda. You people suffered a crushing defeat in Markai Haq, and the Sindoor defeat has, made you go bonkers. You have lost your sanity. You don't know what to do because the whole world saw how Pakistan, crushed you totally. So now you're coming up with all kinds of nonsense and cock and bull stories. Look at your own country first. Look at the situation. There are about 30 to 40 insurgencies right now in your own country.
Very poor.
You put your own house in order instead of, spreading this propaganda about Pakistan. We don't believe a word of what you're saying. Your India, should be ashamed of itself. I read Sonia Gandhi's article. And she clearly says that it is criminal that the Indian government is silent on the massacre that has
especially
happened.
I'll play out once again the protest jo hai Shailendra Singh
by Israel. You people didn't utter a word. You didn't utter a word. You should be ashamed of yourself. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uzma, there are 38 people who have been killed. The Shia community is coming together in Pakistan. There is a large Shia community in Pakistan. You are coming on an Indian program and abusing the Shia community. आप शिया कम्युनिटी के लोगों को हमारे प्रोग्राम पे आके अटैक कर रही हैं.
Why didn't you open your doors? Why didn't you welcome the Afghans? How come it was only Pakistan that hosted them, that looked after them, that shared all our
Colonel
resources?
Shailendra Singh.
Thank you.
Shailendra Singh and Adnan.
Uzma, we have heard you. Uzma, we have heard you. I
Shailendra Singh and
heard the
Adnan.
other two panelists from Pakistan.
Ji.
Allow me. And I'm only going to repeat the words which you people are speaking. My friend Raja Faisal says, okay, give me the proof. You give me the proof. You give me the proof that this particular video is wrong. You have to give that proof. I don't have to give the proof. Okay, the other gentleman says, or somewhere, that I'm sure you have not heard Murdabad. You would have heard Jindabad. वो आपका दिल बोल रहा होगा. And that is where.
यार इसका जवाब मैं दे सकता हूँ.
नहीं, you don't have to give a reply. You don't have to give a reply. You have already replied. Uzma has spoken enough. Uzma has spoken enough there on this. And let me correct you. Have little patience, my friend. Nisar bhai, I am not telling anything to you. Please understand. Just take my last word. Just allow me. What is your Khwaja Sahab saying? Why is Khwaja Sahab in a state of shock that India is going to attack? And by the way, Raja never used this word. When you said peaceful procession for the Shahadat, oh well, what has happened in Karachi, where you have done again the firing on the people, is that Shahadat? Is that peaceful protest?
It was the private services, private security services.
Raja, I'm not blaming you. I'm asking you. You interpret.
Fire was taking place.
You interpret. You tell me what happened to that consulate. Why the consulate has been advised to take out all their men? Why only essentials to be there? Why everything non-essential moved out?
You tell me. राजपूत का मेंशन करते हैं. आज मैं आपसे एक सवाल करना
मैं कुछ मेंशन कर ही नहीं रहा. मैं तो वो मेंशन कर रहा हूं जो आपके यहाँ बोला जा रहा है. What your people are. Sir, my submission.
राजपूत को करना चाहिए.
राजा कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए. Raja, I will tell you why. Because your army is an inhuman army. The army
मेहमान को मरवाया. आप कैसे राजपूत हैं कि अपने एक मेहमान को मरवाया आपने?
किस मेहमान को मरवाया?
यूएस से मरवाया.
ओ भाई साहब,
कोई बात भी नहीं कर रहा आपकी तरफ से.
मुशर्रफ मेरे मेहमान थे. मुशर्रफ मेरे मेहमान थे. हमने तो नहीं मारा. आपने अपने देश से निकाला.
आप राजपूत हैं.
अरे राजपूत, you tell me which mehman are you referring?
ना मोदी.
My dear, I want to know from you, Raja, which is that mehman?
Tena, IRS, Tena.
Oh, then you are clueless. You are clueless. Please start reading the newspaper. Start hearing the news of the world. You start reading the world news. That ship was never attacked in Indian maritime territory. Never. It was in international water. It was international water of the Sri Lanka. Please go by record. You want, I'll give you a satellite photograph. I will give you a satellite photograph. I'll give you not 6, I'll give you 12 figure grid reference where it was. भाई साहब, राजा देखो राजा, झूठ बोलने से काम नहीं होगा.
सबमरीन इंडियन ओशन में मौजूद थी. जैसे ही आपका मेहमान वहां से निकला, उसने उसको मार दिया. आपने रोका.
ये मेरे यहाँ से 24 तारीख को निकला.
आपने इग्नोर की.
You are clueless.
जाके उनको पकड़ा.
I am telling you are clueless on this. You are only speaking to blame. This ship had left long back. The exercise was over on 24th of February. Where are you? That exercise got over on 24th. Now how do I explain to you? You are fixed on that one agenda. You are only on the lies. I am telling you, you prove it. I am proving it. I am giving you dates. Raja, I am giving you the dates. Where are you? Where are you, Raja? Please, इंटरनेट नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं. वर्ल्ड न्यूज सुनो. Follow karo. You will come to know. You will come to know what happened to that ship.
I always expect.
I am absolutely of the opinion the ship should have not been attacked.
Say something now, Raja. Raja, let's listen to me for 2 minutes, okay? पहली बात ये है, everyone on, जो भी आपके कंट्री के साथ हो रहा है, इसके लिए कोई और जिम्मेदार नहीं है. फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, आप रिलैक्स करें.
वो जेना के ऊपर डाल रहा है.
ओके आई विल टेल यू क्या हो रहा है. अदनान डोंट गेट एंग्री. आपको मैं नहीं उज़मा, आई वुड लाइक टू रिपीट अदनान जी उज़मा जी जरा शांत हो जाइए. अदनान जी और उज़मा जी जरा मेरी बात सुनिए. मैं नहीं, निसार अहमद शेरजाई जी हैं, डेमोक्रेटिक अफगानिस्तान वॉइस है. ये आपको बताएंगे कि अफगान तालिबान आपके साथ क्या कर रहा है. ये मैं कहूंगा तो आप मेरी बात नहीं मानेंगे.
अफगान का नुमाइंदा ही नहीं है, इसके पीछे अफगानिस्तान का झंडा ही नहीं है. इस हरामी को कहो कि ये झंडा किसका है.
आप जरा अपने शब्दों पे संयम रखिए, अपने लैंग्वेज को कंट्रोल कीजिए. हमारे अफगान जितने गेस्ट हैं, इनको अटैक करने का कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं, कोई राइट नहीं है आपकी. लेट हिम डिफेंड हिमसेल्फ.
पाकिस्तानी अपनी मुंह संभाल में रखो. ये तुम्हारा बाप का झंडा है. ये वही झंडा है कि तुमको इंसानियत सिखाए. ये वही झंडा है कि तुमको इस्लाम सिखाए, तुमको इंसानियत सिखाए. ये वही झंडा है, इस देश को बर्बाद किया. इसी झंडे के खैरात से तुम्हारा देश बन गया. अपनी मुंह संभाल में बात करो पाकिस्तानी.
झंडा तो ठीक करो. तालिबान के नुमाइंदे हो, बताओ किस तालिबान के नुमाइंदे हो.
देखो पाकिस्तानियों के
ये नहीं,
मैं अफगानिस्तान लोग का नुमाइंदा हूँ. अफगानिस्तान लोग का वही लोग जो तुम्हारा बाप और परदादा को मुसलमान क्या इंसानियत सिखा है, वही देश का नुमाइंदा हो कि तुम इंसानियत सब कुछ सीख लिया. वरना तुम आपके पास क्या था? आप इंसानियत नहीं था.
पीछे झंडा टांग के लाल वाला तुम तालिबान के नुमाइंदे हो.
ये तालिबान के आपके पास था. देखो पाकिस्तानी मैं तुम्हारा तरह बदतमीज नहीं हूँ. पाकिस्तानी मैं तुम्हारा पाकिस्तानी मैं तुम्हारा तरह बदतमीज नहीं हूँ. देखो जो पाकिस्तान पड़ा, थोड़ा इंसानियत सीखो. तो इसका माइक डाउन करें.
मुझे समझ में नहीं.
इसका माइक डाउन करें.
2 नंबरियों को इंडियन चैनल्स में नंगा करने आऊंगा.
डाउन करें.
2 नंबरियों को नंगा करूंगा. तुम्हारा अफगानिस्तान से, अफगान कौम से कोई लेना देना नहीं है.
अभी उसी टूरिज्म पाकिस्तान के गले में पड़ गया. और दूसरा, इधर जो पाकिस्तानी गैस बेचता है, ये सब जब सुनता है कि मैं सोचता हूँ कि इनके दिल में क्या गुजरता है. जैसे कि ये सब आसिम मुनीर पहले पाकिस्तान के लिए आसिम मुनीर पहले पाकिस्तान के लिए मर चुका है. आसिम मुनीर पहले पाकिस्तान के लिए मुर्दाबाद है. आसिम मुनीर अकेला खुफिया एजेंसियों के लिए आसिम मुनीर. देखो अभी ये आसिम मुनीर तुम्हारा परिवार को भी मार डालता है. तुम्हारा परिवार को मार डाला है. तुम्हारा देश को बर्बाद कर रहा है. पाकिस्तान को बर्बाद करता है. पाकिस्तान के नाम पे बिजनेस करना. पाकिस्तान के आसिम मुनीर
तुम हो कौन? Who are you? Who are you?
आसिम मुनीर
Who the hell are you? Who are you?
मैं डरता हूँ कि अच्छा है कि दूर है. मैं डरता हूँ कि अगर ये हमारे स्टूडियो के स्टूडियो में होता था तो ये खुदकुश धमाका करता था. ये टूरिस्ट है. एक टूरिस्ट ये टूरिस्ट है.
You are not representing.
एक टूरिस्ट आया इधर बात कर रहे हैं.
शैलेंद्र, अदनान मैं फिर से कहूंगा, राजा एंड शैलेंद्र Uzma and Amrat Ahmad Sheikh ji, I will say once again that whatever Amrit, is happening to Pakistan. We feel sorry, but
What happened
you
in
are,
Pakistan,
we can't do anything about it.
Our field marshal knocked the hell out of you. And our field marshal
7 days of
will
non-stop shelling and airstrikes across the Durand line. 68,000 civilians in eastern and southern Afghanistan. Now, your entire so-called military ability has no right. The Afghan army does not fight conventionally. You can have all the F-16s, but Afghanistan has many years of experience in destroying superpowers. Now, Iran is also breathing down your neck, Amrit. We have to be realistic. You have been, you've been given a clear warning by Iran, and you have violated the terms of your mutual strategic assistance treaty that you had with the Saudis.
Saudis, where is
the Saudis are calling you, Amrit, and saying that you promised to defend us, but you are not responding to their calls, which means you have violated that. So Pakistan is fighting Baluchis, TTP, Afghans. You have violated your terms of agreement with the Saudis, and you've got a warning from Iran. Okay? Now, in the given situation, what I'm saying is, Amrit, whatever you are going through, and you are bankrupt, sorry, you are also bankrupt because your external debt is now 150 billion, right? You have 25 billion on external debt. You're a small economy. Your foreign reserves have collapsed to 2 billion, which means your foreign reserves are 1.6% of your external debt. There's no point shouting, Uzma. Amrit, this is your reality.
Yes, sir, I'm listening.
Yeah, how do you handle this situation?
Sir, first of all, there are a lot of things that I would like to highlight over here. And I think that they actually need to be put out there as well, which I believe that they have not as of yet.
Visuals.
Firstly, I'll tell you step by step. So the first thing that is the most important one over here is that the external debt that you're talking about and the financial situation that you're talking about that Pakistan is in, well, I beg to differ on this because I believe that this is not entirely the situation, because if this was the situation, then I don't think so that we would have been able to, in the Operation Sindhur, the way that we have taken
What is your external debt? May I ask you? One minute. Don't go by presumptions. Don't go by presumptions.
Please let me finish.
No, Amrit, what is your external debt? No, Amrit, these are counterfactual. What is your external debt according to you?
Sir, I listened to everything.
No, but what is your external debt? Are you even aware?
At least let me.
I am aware of your external debt. Can you, as a Pakistani, tell me what your external debt is?
Let me at least answer. I think that Donald Trump has, in various statements, has actually recognized that what Pakistan's situation is currently in. And I think that is the problem of India right now. They do not know that how to handle this thing. They do not know how to handle this
Amrit,
thing.
You must speak,
that America has no sides.
Trump is your external debt.
Sides with India. America has no allegiance with
No,
India
the question
anymore,
was different. The question is, how much is your external debt? Is Trump your external debt?
The Afghanistan situation that you are consistently talking about, sir, the Afghanistan situation that you're talking about, sir, you guys should know about this thing that we Pakistanis have actually, Ms. Uzma Kardar was actually highlighting this point that how we have actually let a lot of Afghanis that due to the war that has been incepted by the Indians over there to create a situation such that they actually retaliate and Pakistan has been a safe place for them where they have been running to. With all due respect, India has not provided that safe haven to them. And now over here you're inviting.
Thank you. Now, may I respond to you now, Amrit? May I respond to you, Amrit? Amrit, may I respond to you? May I respond to you?
Which is actually a Hindi term.
Amrit, may I please respond to you? May I please respond to you? Amrit, Amrit, can I just respond to you? First, let me tell you this.
Yes, sir, please.
We have nothing to do with whatever Afghanistan is doing to you. We have nothing to do with what is happening in Skardu, in Gilgit, Baluchistan. This is your internal problem. And what you will have to handle it. Yes, what is the problem, Uzma?
RAW is funding,
No, RAW is
all
not
the
funding
TTP,
it.
Groups. They are training all the TTP. They've got training camps there.
No, Roy is not funding
them with weapons. They're providing them with funds.
No, Roy is not funding anyone.
The foreign minister of Afghanistan.
1 minute. Don't make baseless claims. Don't make baseless allegations, please. Raw has to fight many other bigger issues, not Pakistan.
Israel, Afghanistan, and India.
Uzma, one of you at a time,
The whole
please.
world can see what is happening here. So don't. Whom are you trying to bluff? Okay? You people are making this whole region unstable.
No, we have no bone to pick in this fight.
The peace of this region.
No, Raja, while she's ranting, let me tell you one thing. Shailendra, in a moment I want to give you. Raja on the right. Raja, you are sitting in Islamabad. In Skardu, the mob was so angry that the brigade commander of the Skardu brigade and his family had to be evacuated from the premises, right? The visuals are with us. Massive bellows of smoke are rising up. And notably your Field Marshal Syed Asif Munir Ahmad Shah, right? And had earlier served as the brigade commander of Skardu. General Bakshi, are with me? Asif Munir was earlier brigade commander of Skardu brigade. He stayed in the same house which has now been burned down. My question is, General Bakshi.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, it is the truth.
Not at all. It was, no. It was the premises of United Nations office, and that's a regional office, a very small office where staff, all of the staff, they don't belong to like some other country. They are Pakistanis, the locals. They are working there. I think a couple of people who are working there, they are from Islamabad.
Yeah,
and that's what has happened.
Thank you, Raja, for those geographical tidbits. But let's get on with the substantive issue, please.
Yeah, please, General Bakshi.
The substantive issue is that you have a tradition of carrying out the genocide of Shias in Gilgit Skardu. I mean, it is a traditional pastime of the Pakistan army. It started with General Parvez Musharraf, your so-called commando general. When he was commanding, there were riots, Shia riots in Skardu against the Pakistani army. And to suppress these riots, he called in the Afghan tribesmen, the tribesmen from the northwest frontier province, Sunni tribesmen, let them loose on the hapless Shia population, women, children. They were murdered, they were raped. It was an orchestrated genocide of the type of Operation Searchlight. You remember that name, Searchlight? Does it ring a bell? Does it light a light inside your memory, jog your memory?
Put the graphics.
Searchlight. That's what you did in Bangladesh.
You have never served in the intelligence
That's what you did in Bangladesh, sir. Mass
but
murder,
now you are coming up with an
genocide.
excellent strategy towards Pakistan.
Raja!
That strategy is that you are applying divide and rule on Pakistan. You are applying divide and rule within the social domains of Pakistan. Earlier, of course, you have been using the domains of Sunni Shia. Then it was
carrying on the torch,
and then we saw that Baloch against Punjabis and then Pashtuns against Punjabis.
The man who
engineered pogroms
against the Shias
application which gets applied on Pakistan. And right now you have come
up pogrom, if you understand that word,
as such that there is
a pogrom against the Shias of Gilgit Baltistan.
Once again.
Raja, it has been, General Bakshi, may I come in? Raja, once again, Nisar Ahmad Shirzai is with us. निसार, ये जो विजुअल्स हम देख रहे हैं, निसार साहब, ये जो विजुअल्स हम देख रहे हैं, जो काबुल में हमारे रिपोर्टर थे, जो लाइव हमारे लिए कवरेज कर रहे थे, और जो तस्वीरें हम देख रहे हैं वहाँ पे, आप इसको ज़रा फुल फ्रेम दिखाई जाए। आप मुझे बताएं आज माहौल क्या है काबुल में? मैं सुन रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे ट्रूप्स को गैदर किया गया है, इनको बिल्कुल स्पेशल इक्विपमेंट है, इनके पास लेटेस्ट वेपन्स हैं और फैंटास्टिक फायरिंग कवरेज है, और इनको भेजा जा रहा है काबुल में सीधा पाकिस्तान पर हमला करने के लिए। तो आप मुझे बताइए, ये जो लार्ज नंबर ऑफ अफगान फोर्सेस हैं, ये किस तरफ जा रहे हैं और इनका प्लान क्या है अभी? निसार साहब, आपके पास क्या खबर है? या आप मुझे नहीं, हमारे पाकिस्तान दोस्तों को बताइए।
जी मैं सब पाकिस्तानियों को बोलता हूँ कि अभी सब रिदी रहे हैं। अभी तालिबान आ रहा है आपकी तरफ, और दूसरी तरफ तालिबान फिदाई अगर आया, तालिबान आपको जीना आराम करेगा। अभी सब अफगानिस्तान लोग पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ है, सब
जी टेस्ट है। आपसे एक छोटा सा सवाल था, दश्ते लेली क्या था? दश्ते लेली क्या था और वहां पे क्या हुआ था? किसने किसको मारा था? ये सवाल है।
दश्त लैली पाकिस्तानियों का मरकादा, इतना पाकिस्तानी जनरल दोस्तम दश्त लैली में इतना पाकिस्तानियों को मार डाला। अभी दश्त लैली इस्लामाबाद में और हो जाएगी। दश्त लैली अभी पेशावर में हो जाएगी, कराची में और लाहौर में हो जाएगी। और दूसरी बात ये पाकिस्तानी जो बोला, एक मिनट
निसार भाई, एक
मिनट, ये देखो पाकिस्तानी देखो जो आपने बोला कि ये किसका झंडा है? ये आप लोगों का झंडा है, मेरे पैरों के नीचे। ये ईरानमंदी का झंडा मेरे पैरों के नीचे। देखो पाकिस्तानी, देख लिया
5 मिलियन अफगान इधर आके पाकिस्तानी 40 साल इसी झंडे को
पाकिस्तानी बराबर है ईरानमंदी के। वो जो इधर बैठा हमारा झंडा कभी इज्जत किया, ये ईरानमंदी का असल है, ईरानमंदी से। ये ईरानमंदी का झंडा मेरे पैरों के नीचे, देखो ईरानमंदी का झंडा।
दश्ते लेली करने वाले अच्छा लगा, दश्ते लेली करने वाले ये हमें सारा कुछ।
अभी दूसरा दश्त लैली इस्लामाबाद में हो जाएगी, दूसरा दश्त लैली इस्लामाबाद में होगी, दूसरा दश्त लैली कराची लाहौर में हो जाएगी, दूसरा दश्त लैली रावलपिंडी आर्मी हेडक्वार्टर में हो जाएगी। याद रखो।
अच्छा
देखो अभी आसिम मुनीर, एक तो आसिम मुनीर पाकिस्तान के अंदर पश्तूनों के साथ दुश्मनी था, सिंधी के साथ दुश्मनी था, बलूचों के साथ दुश्मनी था, अभी शिया के साथ दुश्मनी किया। पाकिस्तान को आसिम मुनीर बर्बाद किया। पाकिस्तानी आप इस 50 साल
मैं आज पता क्यों नहीं बोल रहा निसार भाई,
अभी 50 साल बाद
बोल रहा
ये जुल्म खात्मा हुआ, और अभी आपके गले पर गया और पाकिस्तान अभी खत्म।
मुझे पता है कि बिहाइंड द कर्टन्स किसके साथ बात चल रही है। फिर आप भी अगले हफ्ते शायद प्रोग्राम में नहीं आएंगे,
क्या बात,
क्योंकि ये सारी गेम खत्म हो जाएगी।
क्या बात चल रही है? एक मिनट, क्या बात चल रही है? Is he accusing us of being involved with the Afghan attack on Pakistan? He's accusing us. You show us the proof that we are involved. It is the people of Afghanistan who are leading the charge against you.
निसार भाई को
we have nothing to do.
आने की जरूरत ही
We are only giving moral support to the people of Afghanistan.
पाकिस्तानी
हम सिर्फ moral support दे रहे हैं।
निसार भाई को अगले हफ्ते की
अभी पाकिस्तान खत्म हो गया, पाकिस्तान खत्म है।
अरे नहीं निसार भाई, आप हमेशा खुश रहे, ईद भी आपकी अच्छी गुजरेगी। होगा ये कि अगले हफ्ते आपको प्रोग्राम में आने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। बिहाइंड द कर्टन्स कुछ लोग आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, सारे मामला ठीक होने जा रहे हैं और आपकी फिर जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी इनको। आज सलाम दुआ कर ले जितना करना आपने।
अबे देखो अगर
जनरल बख्शी, Raja Faisal is saying that he has bought some people in Afghanistan who he will give money to stop the attacks on Pakistan. That is the basic point he made, General Bakshi. This is the reflection of the Pakistani mentality.
Arnab, it is pathetic. Afghanistan is a country with no air force. Asif Munir thought he would impress the hell out of Donald Trump. I mean, he's taken to bootlicking Trump like, even in the British time, colonial period, we never saw this level of bootlicking. He wanted the Bagram Air Base. He mentioned somewhere to him, I want the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. And he said, Mere Aaka, I will supply it to you. I will bomb the daylights out of the Afghans, the Pashtuns. Look, the Russians tried to bomb the daylights out of the Pashtuns. They failed. The Americans tried to do that for 20 years. They had to flee from Kabul. And believe you me, we haven't seen a full flight, a shameless flight like that of any army from any of its battlegrounds. Right? And now, no, Raja, just let me tell you some facts. Right? Now Pakistan has been dancing to the tunes of Donald Trump. He has provided the airspace, air bases to attack Iran from this unexpected Western direction, right? Number one. Number two, he has taken the weapon consignments from the CIA at Karachi and had them delivered inside Sistan, Baluchistan. Now the CIA wants him to get the Sunni Baluchis to mount an offensive against Iran. Mount an offensive against Iran from the Pakistan side, even while the CIA and the Mossad are trying to line up the Kurds against the Kurdish province in Iran. You know, and then you pretend to be sympathetic with the Shias, with the people of Iran. Then you pretend, you know, this running with the air, hunting with the hound philosophy has already cost you
isn't it beautiful that we are everywhere?
Even more in the day
I think the point is that I think the point also is there is generally a view Uzma, can you hear me?
No one can use Pakistani soil to attack any Muslim country.
Generally when you are weak,
with the people of Iran. We stand with the people of Iran.
Why doesn't Asif Munir say that?
The sentiments, because of the cruelty and the genocide.
Uzma,
and
it doesn't matter what you say. Why is Asif Munir not saying that?
The entire leadership of Iran.
It doesn't matter what you say. What is Asif Munir saying?
Pakistan has offered condolences to all the Iranian leadership. And we stand with our Iranian brothers and sisters because these are war crimes. Israel is responsible for these war crimes. They are bombing schools. They are bombing hospitals. They are bombing civilians. And Israel is playing such a dirty game in our region. Israel is bombing the oil refineries in Saudi Arabia and blaming Iran for it. It's actually Israel that is attacking Turkey
just a minute.
right now.
Can my volume be up and Uzma's down? Uzma, the Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives of the government of Pakistan has said that 80% of Pakistan's water sources are today unsafe for consumption. And Pakistan has officially moved from water stress to water scarce. The per capita water availability has fallen below 1,000 cubic meters, which means, Amrat, you don't have enough water. You don't have enough water also.
Sir,
I just want to understand from you. See, look at the situation with your country. You have the Afghans attacking. Okay, you can say you can hold them back for a while. You have an internal security situation in Baluchistan. In Gilgit-Baltistan, you have carried out a Shia massacre. And there are loud protests against you. Iran has warned you. Saudi Arabia is saying that you violated the agreement of the Strategic Assistance Treaty, right? And Asif Munir has not been seen in public for a week. Amrat, where is Asif Munir?
Yes, sir,
Amrat, where is Asif
I want
Munir?
to actually answer a few questions if you'll actually allow me.
I would allow you if
want to answer a few
Uzma
questions.
stops shouting for a while.
And I've been actually hearing all everybody's like saying their own, giving their own opinions and stating the facts. I like to actually put in some facts as well. And I totally respect Sir General Bakshi, and I just wanted to highlight something that we've been talking about massacre that has been happening in Pakistan, whereas there are, honestly speaking, there's no such thing as massacre happening. What about the massacre that has been taking against the Muslims in Gujarat? What about that? What about the Hindutva, the entire projection of Hinduism over there, and the Muslims that are actually being killed at the hand of religion? And you're talking about Shiism in Pakistan, whereas there are more than...
But why were 38 Shias killed in POK? Amrat, don't do a whataboutery here. Why were 38 Shias killed? No, 1 minute. Why were 38 Shias killed in POK Skardu?
And then there is... Sir,
why were 38 Shias killed? Why have you carried out a massacre of Shias? What have Shias done wrong? Ayatollah Khomeini is a Shia leader. If they are protesting or for him, why are you killing the protesters? Same thing happened in Karachi also.
No, sir, no. Sir, no, I'm actually asking, and I actually want to know that over here we're talking about the Shia issue, we're talking about the Afghan issue. What about the issues that are actually pertaining in India? And even if you're talking about
even if you're
talking about the Afghanistan
we have no issues.
I
have
will-
no
I will
issues.
answer-
We are
Sir,
growing
I
very
will answer
fast
your question.
economically.
I will answer your question. Sir, I will answer your question. I will definitely, I will answer
You are
your
not,
question.
no?
Just give me 1 minute. Moreover, I actually wanted to ask you one thing, that when you're talking about Afghanistan, you're saying that you're providing them a moral support. Sir, please
Moral
answer
support.
this thing. What about the support that you're giving to BLA? What about the support that you're giving to BLA and for running all of these insurgencies in
We are
Afghanistan?
giving only
and the
moral
people that
support
are
to
being
BLA.
killed over there? What about
General
what
Bakshi,
about-
I don't
what
know. Are
about
we
that
giving any
thing?
military support to
Can
them?
you-
No.
can you-
We
can
are
you-
giving
can you
moral
please
support
answer
to
about
BLA.
the support
Balloons
that you're
people
providing
are a
and the
freedom-loving
messages that has been
people,
gone there
and they have a full, unstinted moral support. Right? India is the largest democracy in the world, and we are sympathetic to democratic aspirations all over. Those people just want to be left alone by your brutal army. The army which carried out genocide in Bangladesh, and Tika Khan then was called the butcher of Balochistan.
with them. Sir, if you really want to
Tika
sympathize
Khan,
with them,
I hope you remember
provide
that
them some
sovereign
safe havens as well. Provide them a
was
place to
called
live
the
as well.
butcher of Balochistan, the butcher of Bangladesh. Right? So don't give us hobilies. Don't give us hobilies about Gujarat or wherever. Right? You have been carrying out genocidal purges.
Sir, what about the butcher of Gujarat? You didn't answer me that.
Gujarat is, by the way, I'll tell you. Amrat, let me tell you. Gujarat is a very prosperous state. People are very happy. If you go there, the roads, the infrastructure, the per capita income, the level of industrialization, the special economic zones, she ran away now.
Thank you very much.
It is such a wonderful and prosperous state.
Democracy has died.
I go there very regularly, and you know, if you want to see what a developed country would look like, Raja, you need to go to Gujarat, and it'll open your eyes because you are from a backward country. You should experience development.
Janab Bakshi has highlighted an excellent excellent
now,
point.
anyway, what are you going to do with the Afghans?
Excellent.
You tried to arm twist the Afghans. Now look at you.
Yeah, please.
Now look at you. Now look at you. Now look at you. Now look at you.
Now can you listen?
You are. Well, listen.
Janab Bakshi has highlighted an excellent point, and that was related to how people of Balochistan, they love the freedom. There are people in other worlds as well who are loving the freedom. People from Iran, people from Gaza, people from Palestine, all of them, they love their integrity.
Why doesn't Asif Munir come and support them then? Why is Asif Munir in hiding? Why is Asif Munir in hiding? Shailendra? But where is Asif Munir hiding?
All of these places, people love.
The nation wants to know where is Asif Munir hiding right now. Shailendra can throw that. I just want to know where exactly is Asif Munir hiding. Shailendra, go on please. We don't have time. Shailendra on the left.
Janab Bakshi, आपको बहुत मुबारक हो।
राजा फैजल, छोटी सी बात सुन तो लो। आपने बोला है ना, I will go by you. I will go by you. I will go by you. I am only trying to tell you that now if you are in support of Iran, where is Munir going to have the lunch and the dinner in
Ladies and gentlemen, 8:56 p.m. as I take a break. Why on the other side? We have a great international panel with us here in the studio. And the question will be tonight, why is Trump trying to make this look like a religious war? Is it his last card that he's playing as far as Iran is concerned? When I'm back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
Premium Plus by Century ProWood.
There is this element that, yes, there is multipolarity, but the United States is obviously doing many of the things without consultation.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
Premium Plus by Century ProWood.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
Premium Plus by Century ProWood.
Trump faces massive internal criticism. America making it a religious crusade. Arnab with a big Trump debate tonight at 9 p.m.
There are a swathe of people in our country, Admiral Tripathi, who today want to do something. They may not be wearing the uniform, and I believe that they want to help the country achieve the target you want.
We created two standing task forces each under 2-star officers. So we said, you go out to the industry, you go out to the defense ecosystem, and you cull out what is it that it is useful to us. And therefore, we can then engage with you. All those who are working in the defense ecosystem and you've got anything, any technology which you think is useful, could be useful for us, please reach out to us.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
For all the people who are trying to do calm commentary on the ongoing war, they must actually be extremely concerned. Concerned not because of whether this is a world war or not. This is a world war. Let nobody have any doubt about it. More than 30 nations are directly or indirectly involved. If this is not a world war, I don't know what is. The question is, there is no predictability in the present situation, because at the center of all of this is an unflinching narcissist called Donald Trump, who is a person you cannot predict his next move. He will do everything and anything possible to give this war a spin. Now look at those visuals. He is now sitting there in the Oval Office praying to the Lord, quite literally. This is not just a visual. This is making it look like he's seeking divine intervention or justification for the fire that he's lit. He's trying to make this look like a religious war. And that is the worry about Trump. A quick match tossed into Iran after his luncheon with Netanyahu at the White House. He thought the spark would last a few days, but this war has gone on far beyond what Donald Trump had anticipated, which is why he hosted pastors and military commanders into the White House. And military commanders are telling troops that Donald Trump has been anointed by God as part of a divine plan. Can I have the audio up on this? This is a very worrying visual because Donald Trump is making it look like this is a divine war he's fighting, like this is some kind of a religious crusade. Please listen to this.
We are honored to come before your presence today, lifting up the arms of our president. We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're facing today. I pray for your grace and your protection over him. I pray for your grace and protection over our troops and all of our men and women serving in our armed forces. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give our president the strength that he needs to lead our great nation as we come back to one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We pray your heavenly blessing upon him in Jesus' name.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Donald Trump's attempt to make it look like he's fighting a Christian war. Like this is some kind of a modern day crusade. And this is extremely worrying because there is a clear political intent behind what Donald Trump is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, alongside this extremely troubling attempt to try to paint Donald Trump as a man chosen by God, as a man chosen by the God Almighty to fight God's battles on earth, ladies and gentlemen, they are now releasing memes saying, justice, the American way. This is a war video that Donald Trump is releasing. What is this war video? You need to look at this. This is a mashup of Iron Man, Superman, Transformers, Deadpool, Star Wars, taking on the subject of war. A war which has killed little girls who were at school, has snuffed out the lives of hundreds of children, and America has turned this war into a video game. Listen to this. This is horrific.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of. Finishing this fight. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
Time to find out.
Maximum effort.
Here it comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the White House becomes something as troubling as this, and I call upon today BBC, CNN, and all these other channels to tell me how much investigative journalism have they done on the killing of hundreds of schoolgirls in the bomb attack that happened in Iran. Is that something that they would put into a video game, into a meme released by the White House? Why are these networks not releasing it? Why are they not talking about it? Is Donald Trump fighting God's battle by killing hundreds of children? This is so unfortunate, and if that confused dichotomy is not enough, the Americans have now pulled back on their grand morality of Russian oil, and they are saying to India, we give you a waiver. We give you a waiver. There was a tweet that was put out by Scott Bessent who says to keep oil flowing in the global market, we are giving a temporary 30-day waiver to allow Indian refiners to purchase Indian oil. What rubbish, Scott Bessent. You can put that tweet into the dustbin because we have made it clear we have never stopped buying Russian oil in the first place. We've never stopped buying Russian oil in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, within America, as this nonsense goes on, there is major anger against Donald Trump. The people are not convinced. That was visible in this visual of a US Marine. Full frame, please. A US Marine was dragged out of a Senate hearing. He was heard screaming, "No one wants to fight for Israel." This is also the sentiment on the ground in America. The anger against Trump is growing.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand, his hand! Oh, his hand!
While that happened, they broke his hand because today Trump and Trump's people cannot tolerate any dissent. It's not just about people being unconvinced. Pete Hegseth and Trump are contradicting each other. Pete Hegseth, the embarrassing Secretary of Defense, came out and said it was not a regime change war. Now Trump is saying that he wants to be involved in picking the next leader of Iran. Trump said initially it will take 4 weeks, and there are reports in some sections of the media that it will take at least 100 days. Some people are saying this will last till September. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all circling back to that visual. The fact is Trump doesn't know what he's doing anymore. This is a confused man. There's a section of the media in America which says that his name has come up very strongly in one part of the Epstein files. How can a man whose name features in the Epstein files, ladies and gentlemen, present himself like a person chosen by God? Every single visual. This is a visual of Trump seeking divine intervention in the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, he's trying to spin this narrative. He's lost on tariffs. He's circled on Epstein. He's a man who is on the back foot on Epstein. He's lost the battle on tariffs. He's not in control. People are angry with him. His popularity is at an all-time low. He's not setting the narrative. He's not in the driver's seat. And this visual is the most troubling. This visual of him, and with all media attention, trying to make it out to be a religious war. Ladies and gentlemen, a war about oil. A war over oil, a war over trade routes, a war over money is Trump's war. This is not God's war. This is Trump's war, and Trump's war alone. Let's debate.
We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're.
Inside Oval Office stand pastors from across the United States. With their hands placed on Donald Trump's shoulders, they pray for wisdom.
We are honored to come before your presence today, lifting up the arms of our president. We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're facing today.
US President, the man who started the war,
Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead.
is now seeking divine guidance. While the war in West Asia has picked up pace on day 7. Iran has begun launching next-generation ballistic missiles capable of dispersing submunitions. Israel is hitting Hezbollah hard in Lebanon, while launching multiple air raids on Tehran, striking presidential buildings. Death toll in the war-hit country has now crossed 2,000 mark. While the US seems to be losing the plot. Donald Trump said US aims to change regime in Iran.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
Now his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says it's not a regime change war.
This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change.
Trump said the operation will take 4 to 5 weeks.
Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
But Iran is not Venezuela. Pentagon now is reportedly preparing for a conflict that could last till September. While the Peace President's administration is busy giving permissions even when not asked. Treasury Secretary says his department is issuing a temporary 30-day waiver to allow Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil. But Trump's advisors perhaps don't know New Delhi never stopped buying Russian oil. The man who wanted to be the peace president is now turning the war into a semi-religious crusade. With no roadmap on what's next, it's the war machine that seems to be driving America's next step.
Before I introduce our panel this evening, I have some breaking news that just came in, that the Indians have given safe harbor to an Iranian warship. This is confirmed news called Lavan, and this safe harbor has been given on the 4th of March. And this news is important from our context, also from a global context. I don't have the details, but apparently there was a request from the Indian side, and we've given safe harbor to an Iranian warship. This information comes on the backdrop of an attack on an Iranian warship, a frigate, which happened just 373 kilometers from the Indian coastline of Thiruvananthapuram 2 days back. So all the people who are criticizing India for not intervening in the attack on the Iranian warship Dena, that was in international waters. The fact is that IRIS Dena never sought safe harbor from India. The SOS from Dena was to Sri Lanka, not to India. India sent in rescue craft on the Sri Lankan request, but I can confirm that an Iranian warship is under Indian protection right now. And that happens after we were approached by Iran to take in the Iranian ship IRIS Lavan, which was also in the region for the International Fleet Review being hosted by the government of India. This is very significant new move. This request was received on 28th of February. Is that the date when Khamenei was killed, right? Yeah, and it's indicating that it was a docking in Kochi was very urgent. And Niranjan has more from the news desk. Niranjan, quick 30-second update from you, please. Niranjan.
Arnab, this was 3 days before IS Dena was shot by a submarine, torpedoed 40 nautical miles from the port of Galle in Sri Lanka. In fact, the request itself was received on the 28th of February.
Yep.
1st of March, 3 days before the IRIS Dena incident, it was docked in Kochi. 183 Iranian sailors are in Kochi right now. This is breaking news.
Yes.
This busts the entire narrative. And let me tell you one last point, Arnab.
Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, the opposition claims that the Sri Lankan government waited 11 hours. IRIS Dena waited for 11 hours, no permission given, and eventually was torpedoed by a US submarine. But we helped the Iranians.
This is very important, Niranjan, because this shows the power, strength, and strategic autonomy of the Republic of India. Your quick comment, General Dayal, on this.
It's a great news, Arnab.
It's a great news, actually, yeah.
Great news, and I think this is the second ship which had participated in Exercise Milan out of the two Iranian ship.
Yeah.
And it looks like that the first ship which was unfortunate, probably they had crossed the line, and I think because there was a blackout of communication,
that did not have Indian protection, no.
From the Iranian point of view,
No.
Iranian and the ship may have lost, contact, and they may not have been able to reach out to the Indians. But this happened just on 28th. So it was in our waters. They've given us absolute security, which is the great news.
This will be noted globally at a time when the world is not sure which way it stands.
So we should inform this. I think this is the right way.
We should tell the whole world that we have an Iranian warship in our protection.
Because a perception is also being created by this war that probably, that everybody is silent and
falling into the Trump side. India is not.
Silence is being misconstrued as, in agreement and as if everybody is towing your line.
Yeah.
So
this is
sort
important,
of a
very important. I'd like to welcome my panel this evening, Tatiana Kukareva from Russia, who's visiting here for the Raisina Dialogues, and we have many guests. We have Dave Ramaswamy, strategic affairs expert. He's joining us to my left. We have Matthew Foldy, editor-in-chief of the Washington Reporter. Thank you. We have with us Lisa Curtis from Virginia. We have with us Professor Hussein Bagchi, professor of international relations in Turkey. We have with us Adam Belos of the Israel Innovation Fund and Adrian Calamel from Washington. He's pro-Trump. Adrian, if I can come to you first, what is going on here? I saw those visuals of everyone praying for Trump. Seeking divine intervention. I mean, what was that visual all about, please? Can you explain that? Can we run the visuals? Yes, please, Adrian.
Well, let me back up here and say, you describe me as being pro-Trump. I'm pro this policy, his foreign policy here. All right, so that's a big difference. You have Trump religious crusade with a question mark. This entire segment leading up to it, there's no question mark. You're saying this is a religious crusade. This has never been a religious crusade. This has been about their nuclear weapons, about the ability to reprocess and to enrich. Every country that has the ability to do that has produced a nuclear weapon. The regime cannot be trusted to do that. So they've been given opportunity over opportunity. They started this clandestine program in the early 1992, 93, and they've been working on it ever since. They finally got caught in 2003, and that's when they enter into this with the UN and the IAEA and all this.
Yep.
And they still cheat. They still cheated all along the way.
Okay, yeah,
it was about the nuclear program. Hold on. Khamenei started this war because he did not want to give up on his nuclear program. He had the choice to go through what every other country, the mechanisms every other country goes through. He decided not to.
Okay.
He had a choice between collapse or his nukes. He chose his nukes, and now he faces collapse. That's it. It's nothing religious. It's not a religious crusade. This is the first time I've heard this coming out.
Well,
this is the first time.
I see. It's a question. It's also. I'd say one thing, Adrian. I think it's a moment of introspection for the Western media, which must start thinking about why it has blacked out coverage of the killing of hundreds of school children and said that it's happened. The schoolgirls died because of a friendly fire, which has been uninvestigated.
I'm sorry.
I think one must show the courage to do that.
Anrab, it has not been uninvestigated. It was proven. It was proven that the IRCG had a fallen missile that misfired. And I have to say something right now.
Who proved it,
I'm sorry,
Adam? Who proved it, Adam? Who proved it?
It was already.
Who proved it, Adam? Who proved it?
It's been all over the news.
Who did that QED maths on it?
Hold on. It's been all over the news for the last 24 hours.
Which news?
I had to sit through 20 minutes of absolute propaganda leading up to this program, not only with a ridiculous amount of panelists, which means that none of us are actually going to be able to speak at all.
I will extend the show as long as you want.
You have labeled
Douglas,
this a religious war. You have labeled this a religious war. And not only that, I have to say this, I have no idea whose side you're on, because to me, based on the dialogue and the monologue and the diatribe that you went on, it sounds like you're on the side of the Islamists.
Okay. Now listen. Now listen, Adam. Adam, I hate it when people die and you put out a video game out there. I take objection to this. I take objection to the video gaming. I take objection to the White House putting out a video which includes Superman and Batman and Hulk. What is this? Now, I ask you today, Adam, is there any sanity left in the White House? Please allow me. What is this video? I want to play the audio there. I want to ask you, I'm asking you, Adam, I've supported you. I've supported Israel after October 7th. There is no network that is as aggressively for the Israelis in the fight against the Hamas. But I ask you tonight, for heaven's name, what is this video which features Pete Hegseth along with the Transformers? I ask you tonight, what is this video of Pete Hegseth and the Transformers? You answer me.
I understand that you want to be the Piers Morgan of India and that you want to make ridiculous hyperbolic statements all the time. And that's what that was. Your entire monologue was a bunch of hyperbolic statements, taking things out of context.
Now listen,
okay?
listen to me. Listen to me, Andrew. Don't get emotional about this. Don't go emo on me.
First of all,
I'm just saying one thing to you, that if you were to look, I don't need to be any Piers Morgan. I probably have 100 times his viewership. You know, if we are a continent, then Piers Morgan is a county. This is the Republic of India. Our network reaches 500 million people. You cannot imagine the size and reach of the Republic Media Network in a long time. So I don't want to be compared to minuscule anchors in an island nation. My question to you is simple. What was that Transformers video? Douglas McGregor, Colonel Douglas McGregor. I, as a world citizen, take exception to a video game, to the video gaming of a war, to a video. This is you are showing Iron Man, Superman, Transformers, Deadpool, and Pete Hegseth and Star Wars and anime in one shot. It is wrong. What is this?
I can scream just as loud as you. If you are a world citizen, you just gave the most.
You've turned this war into a meme fest.
In Hebrew, you would say "bli context."
Whatever. No, I know. I asked Douglas. Can I get Douglas into this?
You literally gave a commentary on America without understanding any context as to the votership, any context as to who are Trump's supporters, any context at all. You literally laid yourself out as understanding.
Listen, Adam, I have no bone to pick in this fight. I just find it bad that you're playing a sequence.
Wait, hold on. You literally just
every time you say, hold on, can I get Douglas to comment?
You
have to be open to criticism. Douglas, where is this headed? Now that we've memed the war, where is this headed?
Where it's not ending anytime soon. The United States and Israel are trying to bomb Iran, a country half the size of India, into submission to Israel's demands. And those demands are not acceptable. They're not going to be met because it amounts to effectively Jewish supremacy over the entire Middle Eastern region. Iran is the last man standing at this point, and Mr. Netanyahu has been striving for years to bring on this war. He's been successful. He wants. Now Iranian missiles are hitting Israeli cities at more than 4,000 miles per hour. You know, remember, a commercial airliner takes 2 hours and 40 minutes to travel between Mumbai and New Delhi. A hypersonic missile covers the same distance in about 7.5 minutes. Bombing is not a strategy, it's a catastrophe. And the whole world is paying for this. Every Indian household and corporation will pay a war tax for a war they didn't start and for a war they don't want to continue. A global recession is no longer a forecast, it's a reality. Now, the reason I came on is that I think India is uniquely positioned to lead the effort to end this war as soon as possible. India has good relations with all of the key players in this war, everyone who has an interest. India is not part of the problem. India is the solution. And so I hope that Prime Minister Modi will take this seriously, contact all of the belligerents, and find a way forward to end the war, because President Trump can't do this. Last night, he tweeted unconditional surrender as the only answer we'd accept from Iran, which is, of course, absurd. It was absurd when we said it during the Second World War. It lengthened the war and killed more people. It makes any sort of resolution led by Washington an impossibility. Now, I don't know how long President Trump will last in office. I do not exclude the possibility that by the end of the year, he may not be there. But right now, the United States, Iran, Israel, Russia, China, all the countries that have anything involved whatsoever in the Persian Gulf, the people that live there themselves, all of them have an interest in finding a way to peace. That's what I hope India will do, is lead that effort.
Yeah. Douglas, that's a live shot from Beirut of some fresh bombing that we have got out here. Now, what we are seeing here is hardening of positions, Dave and Matthew. We've seen the word unconditional surrender now being put out. Trump at this time yesterday said that I need to play a role in deciding. And he mentioned Delcy Rodriguez. He said someone like Delcy Rodriguez must be the chief of Iran. Now, he wants to play a role in that nomination yesterday. Then we've seen this prayer ceremony, and now we've seen him talk about unconditional surrender. Then we had a tweet which came out from Khamenei's handle, obviously operating by whoever's holding things there. Can I have that tweet out, graphics team? Can I put that tweet out in the full frame? So in 30 seconds, I'll put a tweet out. It shows a missile. It shows a missile, and it has a fresh warning by the Iranians who are hardening their positions. The nature of the shots fired and the attack on the Azerbaijani pipeline, Dave, yesterday proves to me that there is a strategic mind operating in Iran. It is not a senseless missile throwing around the world that's going on, which means the situation geopolitically is more complicated and less predictable. Now, Douglas says there must be resolution. Who's going to begin the resolution? Who's talking? Whose counsel is Trump taking?
It's a very good question. These are difficult conversations. But one thing I can say, adding to what Colonel McGregor said, it's like what we're seeing unfold is asymmetric warfare. Like, of course, Iran's annual military budget is a fraction of what America's is. They can't take America head on, but they're very smartly figuring out the soft underbelly of America in the Middle East, which is the GCC countries.
No, why is that my God comment?
So by taking
who said my God?
So by taking out American assets, or at least targeting American assets in Bahrain, in the UAE, in Kuwait, and really putting the squeeze on these countries. Like, as you know, Arnab, the air traffic in the GCC has ground to a standstill.
Absolutely.
The port of the Straits of Hormuz have pretty much blockaded because no insurance company wants to provide coverage to the ships. So we have a situation where the GCC economies are just being imploded with $20,000 drones. So UAE has a $500 billion economy. It's being brought to its knees with a series of $20,000 drones. So this is asymmetric warfare.
In any war, Matthew, there would be a politics behind it. There would be, the public sentiment would matter. We saw that visual there of the US Marine being dragged out. I'm not saying it's representative, but we also see some polls come out which say that the people are against American troops being killed on the ground. And if that happens, the sentiment will move against Trump. What is Trump playing for politically here? What is his, and where is he placed today, truly, beyond the tweets and the statements?
Great questions, by the way. Great to be with you in person. I'm getting a little bit of studio envy for when I go on TV in America. And
welcome.
To your point on it not being representative, what was going on in that Senate hearing, that person specifically, the U.S. Marine, obviously appreciate his service, is a Green Party candidate for Senate in North Carolina. So this is a guy who is on the farthest left of the political spectrum in America, which puts him about the center right of European countries. So that instance, while viral, is in no way indicative of what you're seeing with American politics. I mean, the guy who you see carrying him out is a former Navy SEAL who's a Republican senator forcing the guy out of the Senate hearing. So that was what was going on in that thing. To Colonel McGregor's point, I happen to be on the team of unconditional surrender in World War II being a good thing. We were fighting the greatest evil that has ever been conjured, all on the other side here. And as for what President Trump is looking at, I interviewed him shortly after, twice actually, Operation Epic Fury. And the things that he said to me that I think are important now are the message that he said in the, when I called him, I think 12 hours after he started the campaign, was everything is going ahead of schedule. What you've got to remember in this war, like any other war, is that everything is an information battle, and Trump likes escalating to de-escalate a lot. You'd see this with tariffs all the time, tariffs getting threatened that are actually just negotiating standpoints. That's what I think the president is doing with the unconditional surrender demand, for example, is you want to start by staking out this position. I'm not sure who he's negotiating with because they've probably killed 3 more Iranian leaders since we started this program. And as for what he's doing in America, I'll let you go on after this. The thing to remember is, affordability is the most important word.
Unconditional surrender happened, you referred to World War II. I didn't want to make this comparison, but Matthew, unconditional surrender happened only after hundreds of people were vaporized by nuclear bombs in Japan. So there is unconditional surrender does not happen. Are you saying that Trump will carry out a nuclear attack on?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying what is when you were testing of ICBMs?
And also the Nazis unconditionally surrendered. We didn't nuke them twice. But
yeah, but after the Nazis unconditionally surrendered, the Americans in a show and tell that the rule of law exists, sent a Supreme Court judge from the American Supreme Court to Nuremberg to put up a trial at Nuremberg. Why did they do that? They did that only to show to the world there is a semblance of the rule of law. On the contrary, Pete Hegseth comes and he says the rule of law doesn't matter at all anymore in this world. So this is not that America, Matthew.
Can I just add one?
Yeah, please.
And
then I'll come straight to you.
I just wanted to your question.
Am I factually incorrect here? No.
The point you were asking about politically what Trump is looking at is this is where you see him talking with gas prices. And right now you see gas prices going up because of complete global instability with oil. That's where I think you have to remember what's going on with Venezuela, where they're trying to flood the market, increase the supply, lower the cost of oil. When you look at politically, you had said that polling would show that most Americans are opposed to troops dying. Of course, obviously that is the case. There's no one who is in favor of that. So it's obviously continuing.
But then this needs an end soon then.
It's incumbent on the administration to explain in an ongoing manner. And I think you're seeing a lot of transparency. You see President Trump doing interview after interview about this war. And so he has to explain why and when he wants it to end.
Tatiana, I mean, do you see this end? I'm concerned about this stretching into the summer.
Well, first of all, Arnab, and also very grateful to be face to face for once.
Same here.
There's a vibe to the studio.
Super.
So let me
go
with the vibe and put things into context. I believe our first speaker asked for context. Let me put things into...
Are you talking about Adam or Adrian? You're talking to Adrian.
Adrian,
we'll put Adrian on screen. Adrian, that's Tatiana Kukareva, senior journalist from Russia, responding to your initial remarks. Adrian, go on. He's there on screen now.
So let me put things into context. First of all, I've been listening for 4 years. You know, you guys say Khomeini started the war because he refused to negotiate. I've been listening for 4 years, being called someone who comes from an aggressor state, because we were watching for 8 years Russian people being slaughtered in Ukraine. And we were telling, look, there is a red line. That was Russian people, Russian-speaking population. Now, Khomeini, yes, not supporting what he did, but he slaughtered Iranian people, not American people, Iranian people. I'm not sure they even spoke English. If we are the aggressor state for protecting a Russian-speaking population in Ukraine, then I'm sorry, I'll put this into context, so is the US. And it's a much more of an aggressor state because you went into a foreign country that had nothing to do with the US, and you said that, okay, we're standing up for the protesters. That's context number one. Context number two, Andrew, unconditional surrender was only possible, not because Matthew, not because the Americans, so have I, we have something in common. Unconditional surrender happened because we did the work. You came in, swooped in at the last moment, and did a very good show in Nuremberg. Is that context enough? Now, Arnab, coming back to your question.
I will say I'm with you on the World War II part.
Thank
good.
you.
We appreciate that.
Russia and the US, closer than
I'm definitely not with you on the Ayatollah being this innocent lamb not exporting global terrorism.
I didn't call him a lamb.
It's not only Iranian, tens of thousands of people he gunned down in the streets, blood that's on his hand. It's 47 years of the regime exporting terrorism around the globe.
And yet,
that's what instigated.
You aggressed a sovereign state.
No, we responded. There's a sovereign state, for sure.
You responded to what?
To the 47 years of Iranian exporting of terrorism across the globe. Yes,
the US?
The Ayatollah and the IRGC have blood.
Yeah, I'd like to get a guest from Ankara in Turkey, Professor Hussein Bagchi. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Professor Hussein. Now, Trump said unconditional surrender. From where you are, from your worldview, is that going to happen? A. B. The question everyone's asking tonight. How long can this stretch? How long can we allow it to stretch?
It will take some couple of weeks, first of all. To get Iran under control, you need to send troops there, which is very difficult. After Iraq and Afghanistan, Americans paid a lot of money. There will be another expense then. I do not think that Donald Trump is going back from his original plan to get the regime out from Iran. He will be successful probably at the end, but it will cost a lot to Americans, to the region, and including to my country. Despite the fact that Turkey is not part of this conflict, Turkey tries to play the role of mediator, the balance of power, politics. One is a very close ally, the other one is the next neighbor. So Turkey is in a very difficult situation, but so far Turkey is very successful to keep neutral within this context. How far American government can make pressure on Turkey, we will see. The missile which fallen in Turkey yesterday, it was a question whether Turkey could use Article 5 of NATO, whether NATO would support Turkey is another debate now which going to take place. But I do not think that Turkey will join the war, neither on the Iranian side nor American side. Turkey will try to mediate, to keep it calm, and probably will hope that it's finishing as soon as possible. But Arnab, your question, how long it will last, this is an open question. I think nobody can answer it now.
Doesn't it depend very much, Dave, on how long Iran can hold out? Has there been, as now we are 6 days into this, Dave, has there been an underestimation of Iran's ability to drag this on the assumption that ground forces can't be committed by either Israel or the US?
Yeah.
Sure, that's a great question. Let me add to what Matthew said.
Yeah.
This year, 2026, is a midterm year in America.
Yep.
So there's a political calculus also at play. Like President Trump, if you contrast what he did in his first term, he kept the US out of no new wars in 40 years, versus what he's compelled to do in his second term. There are various lobbies at work in DC.
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, I think President Trump probably expected a short and swift operation like Venezuela or some of the other operations that they've done. And this is kind of spun out of control.
Yes.
So there's a domestic calculus, like adding to what Matthew said, he cannot afford to get gas prices too high and have American troops come home in body bags. That's kind of a non-starter politically.
So he got the wrong assessment?
So
he got the wrong assessment. Lisa Curtis, let me draw you in. Sorry to keep you waiting. There was a feeling that Trump has been given an assessment of a quick capitulation after the killing of Ayatollah Khamenei. Has that gone wrong? And if that tactical success has not happened, do they have plan B? Lisa.
So I think the major reason why I am not supportive of this war is that we have not been given any evidence that there was an imminent threat against the United States. We've heard different explanations of why this was necessary now. I think probably some of Trump's advisors had said, look, the regime is down and out. It's vulnerable following these protests in December. Now is the time, go in, take care of the issue. But that's a huge gamble. That's a major gamble that he has taken. And it's very similar to the same gamble that President Bush took 23 years ago when the U.S. invaded Iraq. So I think that he has put himself on the line. It may work out. Maybe there will be regime change, but there's no guarantee of that. And I just want to say one more thing, please. That the sinking of the Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean region, I think tells the rest of the world that it can no longer count on the United States to uphold the rules-based order. This is a role the United States has always been the guarantor of a rules-based order. And my fear is that with actions like this, that the United States is undermining its own credibility with the international community for being that country that is standing up for a rules-based order. And I completely disagree with the commentator who said that, Russia's invasion of Ukraine was justified, because it was not justified. It was completely unprovoked and was an act of aggression. So I'll just stop there.
Tatiana, you want to respond to that briefly? I give you opportunity. Tatiana?
Look, I would actually rather prefer to answer your question about how long it can last.
No, my question was different. Is is Trump. You've interviewed him twice, Matthew. You know him to some extent or read his body language. I mean, it's like nobody. Sorry, I take that back. Nobody understands Trump. Nobody. And to claim to understand Trump would put you on the firing
You're
line.
hilarious, yeah.
But is Trump surprised, Matthew, by how long Iran has kept fighting?
So
Would Trump be surprised?
So, great question. I've interviewed him more than twice. I was saying I've interviewed him twice since Operation Epic Fury started. And I interviewed him a couple of days prior to it, and I asked how were negotiations.
When was the last time you met him?
Before or after Operation Epic Fury, you mean?
How many days back?
I interviewed him on, I don't know what day it is anymore, just got it, I think Monday, I don't know. I interviewed him Monday, I interviewed him on Monday most recently. But a couple of days prior to
When you met him on Monday?
No, I called him.
You called him on Monday?
On Monday night.
Tell me what you said, what was your conversation like?
That was what I already categorized.
I'm always curious about Trump.
Well, let me tell you what he said before the thing.
Was that an interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you say?
So I asked him, in essence, how were the negotiations going? Again, this is before I or the Iranians, of course, had any idea what was going to happen with Operation Epic Fury. And one of the things that he said to me was, you know, the Iranians, they've stopped killing the protesters, then they resumed killing the protesters. He said they halted, I think it was 837 executions. So he was trying to give them a reason to almost be trusted. You know, they would say, hey, we've stopped gunning down all of these protesters in the streets, and then obviously...
Which means he wanted a way out.
I think, look, I mean, you see, Trump
Which means he wants a way out.
Trump is very hesitant to deploy force, but then when he does it in...
This is very interesting, viewers. Douglas, you need to respond to this. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers watching this, Matthew Foldy, the editor-in-chief of Washington Reporter, spoke to Trump on Monday. Today is Friday. He spoke to him on Monday on the phone, did an interview. And in that he says, Colonel Douglas, that he said that, you look here, there were protesters being killed and that's not being killed. So he was trying to make it look like the war which had begun,
Arnab,
the killing of Khamenei had got some advantage.
That was what he said to me before. The conversation about how Iran had stopped killing protesters, that was from an interview I did prior
to Khamenei.
Post-Epic Fury, one of the things he said in an interview that I did with him was, for the Gulf states that are under attack by Iran, stay strong. You are going to get your chance to hit back at Iran, which does
Why would they hit back?
Which does suggest that there will be a prolonging of the conflict. Why would they hit back? Because they're getting hit. So and then let me just wrap this point by saying, look at what he did with Venezuela and the negotiations with Maduro, where he had him negotiation after negotiation after negotiation. At some point, we all lose patience. Trump lost patience. Delta Force goes in. Maduro sitting in a prison in New York City.
In this, it appears to me, Colonel, that it's possible that Trump has miscalculated, Colonel Douglas, from what it appears to me, right?
Well, President Trump has relied almost exclusively on what I would call the Israeli narrative, which is what you're hearing from the American that's just spoken. This is the narrative that is trying to convince the world that...
Well, actually, it is the American narrative, but that's fine.
This is the state that has to be destroyed, and if we don't destroy it, we're not going to save civilization and so forth. Look, if you're interested in Islamic terrorism, you'd be much more focused on Pakistan, or for that matter, on Syria right now, which is headed by the alumnus of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Al-Nusra, and is killing Christians, Shiites, and anything else they don't like on a routine basis. So that's a lot of nonsense. I think that President
I mean, Douglas,
Trump
if you want regime change in Pakistan and Syria, I mean, you can make the case for that.
I think that, no, I don't want to go to war with Pakistan. I'm simply pointing out that if you're looking at Islamist terrorism, you're looking in the wrong place. The bottom line is this. Yes, lots of miscalculations were made, but that's from Mr. Netanyahu. That's from the Israeli intelligence telling him repeatedly over and over and over again that this will not be difficult, that the regime is so unpopular it will be easily toppled. That was always a lie. It never made any sense. And now we are in a war that just is not going to end. And contrary to popular belief, you cannot bomb this regime out of office. It won't work.
That is my most worrying fact here, General Dayal. When I speak to people, 7 out of 10 people are saying to us tonight, this is not ending soon. Now, given the fact that, say, Pakistan, smaller country, 20 days of oil left. India, bigger country, will work with Russia, but we'll be squeezed as well. Can we afford to let it last beyond a month?
We can't afford because, Arnab, firstly, let's understand, this war has not been waged out of, imagination. It's a well thought out strategy of America. And let me tell you, if in the last year, in June, they fought for 10, 12 days, they bombarded Iran, and Iran didn't come to you till you brought in B-250 bombers from all the way from America. And that too, you probably compromise yourself. So this war, if somebody thought Americans were thinking will be over in 10 days, 12 days, 25 days, then I think they are misleading. American strategists, the military strategists, would well be aware of all this, that after the last June war, Iran has also changed its strategy. So war is going to be longer because it's not a war on Iran. It's a war on the control of entire energy sources, war on the control of routes of the world, trade routes of the world, war on the diplomacy of the world. So I'll just tell you.
I don't know who advises Trump. Because you can't be myopic in politics.
but it's their strategy.
This entire war, this entire tariff issue was seen to be also a way to punish countries that buy Russian oil, right? Now, Tatiana, see,
they won't
I truly believe, Dave. I truly believe that it is Putin who's having the last laugh, Dave. Because what would he be sitting in Moscow and thinking right now? He's going to say that, thank you, Scott Bessent. Thank you, Donald Trump. And Scott Bessent says, we are allowing Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil. Basically, overnight, Russian oil is justified now. The whole argument in Davos was no Russian oil. Now, America is saying Russian oil for a while.
This comes back exactly what we discussed
so you benefit.
At that time.
So you benefit.
Look.
So Tatiana, Putin suggests that Russia could halt gas supplies to Europe, arguing that shifting exports to other markets may be more profitable. Now, Russia's share of EU pipeline gas has fallen from 40% earlier to 6% now. With this, Russia's back. Of course. I'm sorry, but with this, the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, Russia's back. Congratulations, Tatiana.
Thank you.
Well done. Trump is working for you.
Yes.
That's the point. She can't stop smiling.
Yes, you're right.
Look,
Russia. My Russian guest is all smiles.
I'm just happy
she hasn't had to lift a finger. Every heavy lifting is being done by Trump.
With all due respect, though.
It's a great point, Arnab, because the entire post-Ukraine narrative was sanction Russia, keep their oil off the world market, and then put a price cap on Russian oil.
That was Biden's. Was Biden's narrative.
But it was instituted by Biden, extended by Trump in the first year. But now everything is out the window. Now Russian oil is being sold, Arnab, for $5 to $6 above the international.
The European Union, Tatiana, the European Union has already approved plans to phase out most Russian pipeline gas and LNG imports by 27. Now, the question is, Qatar's LNG output is disrupted. Global gas supplies are surging by 50%. This West Asia, Middle East crisis is accelerating your re-entry into the global markets. You are going to be the leader of the global energy markets, and you're going to get a premium for it.
I wish it were that simple. Yesterday at Raisina, we actually heard from one of the people from Europe, and when asked at point blank, are you looking to come back to Russian gas? They said, we hope not, thank God. And that is a fact. So the one country that will benefit from it, and I will stand my ground, we spoke about this a few days ago, the one country, they have replaced Russian dependency on U.S. dependency. U.S. is #2 supplier of gas to Europe. That is the country that will benefit. The #1 supplier is Norway. The #2 supplier of gas to Europe is the U.S.
But don't you think it's amazing? I think the story today is India. I think it should be a global story because India has given protection to an Iranian warship.
Absolutely.
And I think hats off to the government of India for that. Adrian, see, there are countries which are going to stand.
It's the right thing to do. If I could just say something real quick, we haven't talked about China, but for a very long time, part of the strategy that is being pursued in Washington is to try and hold China hostage to oil in the Middle East. And the assumption was that if we in Israel could get control of the oil resources, then we'd have China by the throat. That's not going to work. The Chinese have built the Belt and Road program for a reason. The Chinese are now very closely aligned with Russia for those reasons, and Russia will provide most of the resources. But there's something else here, and that is this is a war, not just to establish preeminence for Israel in the region, it's also a war against the future. The future is not the past. The Bretton Woods system is done. We are now finished in the Gulf. America's deterrent capability has been exposed. We're talking about the emergence of a new world, a world in which great civilizational states like India, China, and I would add Persia, are going to have a profound impact on the future of the country, the future of the world. Americans don't like that. They've been the center of the universe now for 80 years. That's about to change permanently.
Adrian, I want your counter on that, if there's one.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I came on here, I listened to everybody that was against it. It turns out, like Colonel McGregor here, who's always on Tucker Carlson's show and these other shows spinning this propaganda, this was all pro-Russia. You're spinning this into a pro-Russia, how this war is all of a sudden against it, now you're against it, and then it's going to benefit Russia. Well, if that's your argument, so be it. You know, I don't have much to say at this point. I think you kind of lost the plot on this one.
Okay, Adrian, we have different perspectives. I'll give a short word here. Yes, please.
See, Arnab, the danger is much larger. If America succeeds, it will control the world in a different way. If America fails and Iranian hardliners succeed, then world will see a different sort of instability. Trump has pushed the world into a corner where the future doesn't look good, at least for next 10 to 12 years. You are talking of 3-4 months. Yeah. I'm talking of 10 to 12 years, because there was an element an element in Iran which was moderate, which was trying to bring Iran to some sort of a consolation on communism. That is totally diminished today. So if hardliners win, believe you me, there'll be terrorism across the world. If America wins, there'll be new colonialism in the world. Be rest assured.
Tomorrow it's going to be a week. Tomorrow it's going to be a week. It's Saturday. And as of tonight, as we wrap this up, and we have breaking news right after this, two countries looking more desperate. Iran, which came out in the Khamenei social media, the tweet which came out, which showed a missile, a fire-tipped missile. I don't know if I have that visual. And on the other side, Trump doing this whole ceremony seeking divine blessings. Both Iran and Trump are looking more desperate as of this evening. And there is absolutely no sight of any mediation. Thank you for watching. Good night and goodbye.
For a quick breather, Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Sir, what about safety from fire? Cable कौन सा लगाया है?
अरे केबल का क्या है, कोई भी चलता है.
यही चलता है, बाद में जलता है. 90% of the electrical fires are caused due to short circuit. Give lot of importance to consider fire safe cable. Ignamo, the fire safe cables from Dravid. Remember, business is safe if your cable is fire safe.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला. मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो.
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता. टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा सिम. MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिम.
जीरा सिम, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो.
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता. टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज.
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड।
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिकर।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है? सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड। चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और बरसान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
There are a swathe of people in our country, Admiral Tripathi, who today want to do something. They may not be wearing the uniform, and I believe that they want to help the country achieve the target you want.
We created 2 standing task forces each under 2-star officers. So we said, you go out to the industry, you go out to the defense ecosystem, and you cull out what is it that it is useful to us, and therefore we can then engage with you. All those who are working in the defense ecosystem and you've got anything, any technology which you think is useful, could be useful for us, please reach out to us.
Women warriors of the CRPF are not just defending democracy, they are redefining it. They are proving that national security and gender equality are interconnected. A secure nation must be an inclusive nation. On behalf of Central Reserve Police Force, I reaffirm our commitment to strengthening women's participation, leadership, and excellence in the service of a great nation.
From our security and maritime point of view, and the present situation that's happening globally, what impact is it having on your strategies?
We learn from every event, every opportunity, not only from our own experiences, but also from what is happening around the world. The Indian Navy is fully geared up to face any challenges of any kind.
All right, welcome back, friends. Let's start with the breaking news development coming in connection with the situation in West Asia, but closer home. Remember what happened with IRIS Dana, the Iranian warship that was torpedoed and taken down by the Americans. And now India clarifying its position. A strong statement coming in because a narrative was sought to be built that India did not come to the rescue of the Iranian ship, despite the fact that IRIS Dana was a guest ship during the International Fleet Review in Visakhapatnam and was heading back to Iran from there. Now, India, sources tell us, actually sent in crafts, both ships and aircrafts, for relief and rescue. Also, around the same time, IRIS Lavan, another Iranian warship or battleship that was also part of the International Fleet Review and Exercise Milan, had sought docking at Kochi and was allowed. IRIS Dana never sought rescue or relief from India, and that's why Sri Lanka came in the picture, because IRIS Dana was in the close to Sri Lankan waters in the Sri Lankan EEZ, while IRIS Lavan was closer to Indian exclusive economic zone, sought docking because of some tech issue there, tech glitch there, and was given docking rights at Kochi. So it's not that India was not coming to help or coming to the help of Iranian battleships in that situation. We have Shravan joining us live from the newsroom and Commodore G.J. Singh, defense analyst, joining us live on this broadcast. But before I go to Commodore Singh for some understanding and deep dive perspective, let me take this to Shravan. Shravan, what are you getting to hear from sources on this difference between the way IRIS Dana was treated vis-a-vis the way IRIS Lavan was treated, which was allowed to be docked at Kochi?
Well, in fact, this is now going to fuel the other big concern, that is with regards to IRIS Dana actually making a request to the Sri Lankan authorities. In fact, some reports suggesting, in fact, opposition members in the Sri Lankan parliament have also raised this question, that a distress call was actually raised by the Iranian ship IRIS Dana before the Sri Lankan port authorities, but it seems that there has been a considerable delay, almost of 11 hours. Having said that, Sri Lankan parliament, in fact, hasn't really confirmed whether at all this kind of a call was actually made by the Iranians. Now, just let's be very clear about certain facts here, because there is a lot that has been doing the rounds, particularly social media chatter, about what should have been India's role and the fact that IRIS Dana was effectively a guest of India. Yes, IRIS Dana was certainly a guest of India, but as long as it was in Indian territorial waters. And more importantly, there was no request that was actually made by the crew members of IRIS Dana as to whether at all they wanted some sort of escort vessel to come along with them, because that was not made. And in fact, they had already left after the Milan exercise had concluded. So they were out of Indian territorial waters. They were in international waters, which is considered to be safe. Now, the action of United States of America can certainly be questioned, that whether at all this sort of an action should have been carried out in the first place or not, because if you go by the Geneva Convention, then it is a clear violation itself. The very fact that international territorial waters are meant for peacetime activities, the United States of America has clearly flouted them. One can question whether at all the United States of America had kept India and Sri Lanka
perhaps, in the loop, that is not certainly required, because this was an action outside Indian territorial waters to begin with. As far as Sri Lanka is concerned, the controversy basically begins on the fact that whether at all the Iranian crew members had made a request and that request was essentially rejected, or for that matter they did not act on it, because it seems a second Iranian ship which is now docked in Sri Lanka, this was a request that was made by Iran. As far as India's actions are concerned, it is now very clear that you already have an Iranian ship which is docked in Kochi, and a request that was actually made was taken care of.
Stay with us. We are going to continue to spend next few minutes, if not hours, on understanding what's the international law like, where it goes from here, who was behind this narrative building, and now that government has come out through sources clarifying its position and putting the facts straight out, what happens next? Commodore G.J. Singh, I want you in here before I go to Shawan for more on what the government sources are telling us. An attempt was made, Commodore Singh, to build a narrative that somehow Indian response was lacking, that we did not come to the rescue of Iranian warship that had come as a friendly participant in the international fleet review. Now, that narrative stands busted given the fact that another ship from the same exercise from Iran was given docking rights at Kochi in the same period. So it's just because IRS Dana did not seek docking, it was not given docking. IRS Lavan sought that docking and rescue, and it was given. So where's the fault so far as India's position is concerned?
India is not at fault at all, because we must understand, first of all, as Shavan was saying, that the territorial waters limit is only up to 12 nautical miles. After that, your limit begins what is called EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone. Now, this particular ship, IRS Dina, was in the EEZ zone, which is international waters. Now, what is the limitations of the EEZ? I must tell you that in the EEZ, Sri Lankans have got the rights to explore their bottom of the sea or the ocean bed for any minerals, LNG. It belongs to them. It's their economic zone. Now, if any foreign country like Americans or any for that matter country, India or China or Malaysia comes and starts the digging process and start digging out oil or minerals or any matter of material importance, then they can object. Otherwise, it just remains an international water through which any foreign vessel can take passage. So when the Americans, this particular ship, Iris, she was in the EEZ, but in international waters. There was nothing to do with the EEZ there.
Okay.
Now, they're justified. Now, number two, we are in agreement with the United States with an agreement which is called the General Security of Military Information Agreement.
Yeah.
And also we have got COMCASA, which is called the Communication Compatibility and Security Agreement, right? Now, under these agreements, the Americans must have been informing the Indian authorities, that is Naval Headquarters or the MEEA, about their intentions. But the problem is that is classified information that doesn't need to be given minute by minute to the media or to put in public domain or to the opposition. No, that's not done when the two countries are at war.
Okay.
So therefore, in my opinion, they might have told them that we are going to hit this vessel. Now, that ship is getting sunk in the of jurisdiction of Sri Lankan government, Sri Lankan Indian Navy. We can go there on humanitarian grounds. In the case of course, probably the message came too late and India did not interfere into that matter. But when it comes to Lavan, they got wisened up. Why? Because they knew that they are not safe if they go into the international waters.
Commodore Singh, in fact, sorry to be interjecting. In fact, we have a picture of IRS Lavan there docking, I believe, at Kochi. These are pictures, or at Vizag, Visakhapatnam. But these are pictures of the exact ship which is now docked at Kochi because they sought, they sent an SOS. They sought docking because there was some technical glitch. And they wanted to be at the shore and not be in the seas. And they were immediately granted permission, following which they docked on March 4. Now, Commodore Singh, you know, let me take this to Shravan. Shravan, the LEMOA and the COMCASA, those are bilateral agreements between Indian and United States forces. Now, do they make it incumbent upon the Americans to tell India, for example, if their submarine is in international waters, but close to India, not necessarily in Indian waters, but still close to India?
A dispute on this entire matter, and in fact, this is what is exactly in the agreement. Let me just quickly take you through some of the common aspects of this particular object, because there's a legal picture here. Now, as far as the responses that are coming in, now there are formal declarations of the war are obsolete post-World War II due to UN Charter Article 2. There are restrictions on force. Armed conflicts are covered under the IHL via Geneva Convention. Belligerent action, as reported in the US strikes on Iranian naval ship, indicate an international armed conflict. An armed conflict exists without formal declaration of war, rendering the armed forces of both the countries a valid target for the other. Now, as far as USN submarine strike on IRS Dana in line with the LOAC, however, the submarine has violated. It has violated the LOAC by not rescuing IRIS Dana survivors after engagement. Since the submarine itself was under no threat, international humanitarian law basically mandates parties take all possible measures without delay to search for, collect and care for shipwrecked, wounded and sick post-engagement. Now, let me just try and explain this. Now, this is as per the agreements that have been signed. As far as the violation is concerned, some have basically argued, but since this was a submarine hit, it is very unlikely that you would have a rescue operation to have been carried out thereafter. But as far as, whether at all this was an attack carried out from the ship itself, then things would have been far different. Now, there is a clear violation, there is absolutely no doubt. Whether at all India and Sri Lanka should have been informed or not on that, the matter is, the opinions are divided because there is no clarity on that entire issue, because this all happens within international waters itself. Now, one can talk about the sphere of influence itself, and within that sphere of influence, one can argue that Sri Lanka should have been kept in the loop, or for that matter, even India. But having said that, there is nothing that actually binds the United States of America to really put India, perhaps in that loop. Now, just a quick point that I want to make here, Abhishek, with regards to the docking that's happened in Kochi, because there, you're talking about two friendly countries here. A neutral party can actually allow them, but there is also a time period. There is a time period till when the ship can actually be docked here. Now, I'm not very sure about whether it is a 7-day period or a little more than that. That clarity perhaps, some naval expert can bring in. But as I understand from what I've picked up so far, is that there is a time period till which they can be docked. Thereafter, it would be incumbent on them to actually move out of it.
Well, you see, Shravan, I think the government has come out with comprehensive detail about what transpired during IRS Dana crisis, and then this IRS Lavan docking at Kochi, which is active in the present, in the sense that the Iranian soldiers and sailors and the naval officers are right there on our shores. So they are in Kochi and taken care of. Group Captain Augustine Vinod joins us on the broadcast. Very good evening to you, Group Captain. And my question to you is, under international law, were the Americans supposed to warn Iris Dana? Were they supposed to inform or intimate neighbors like Sri Lanka and India, or the nearest nations like Sri Lanka or India, before shooting at Iris Dana? What is the international law insofar as attacking a vessel in international waters is concerned?
A very good question. In fact, it takes me back to my staff college days, way back in 2005, where I was one of the so-called CATF, the Combined Air Task Force Commander. So, that all that is coming flashing back. Yes, you are right, and answer is yes and no. Yes, because before you attack somebody, you are supposed to give them a fair warning. But if the ship being attacked is carrying out belligerent activities, in which you can open fire first. Now, belligerent activities, what are those belligerent activities? They are not specified. So, in the UN Convention of Laws of Seas, actually speaking, you can get away with a lot of things depending on who's arguing your case and where. That said, this particular ship, the IRIS Lavan, is actually, if I'm not wrong, it is an LST. So it's a landing ship. Basically, it is one ship where all the three forces come together. In fact, we call it the jointmanship, or the jointness is shown on this ship, where the troops are army troops. The troop is being carried by the Navy, and Air Force provides defense for the ship. In fact, the Engam class, which is this particular ship is, there is a comparison of that Engam class with us also called the Sardul class. So if I remember correct, it is Shardul, Airavat and Kesari. They all are, I think, LST, the landing ship tank class, which is this particular ship. 183 or 186 troops are on board of this ship. The question not the question, in observation, the previous speaker talked about is, if I'm not wrong, a goodwill visit is anywhere between 2 to 4 days, up to 7 days if you are doing some logistics. We call it the turnaround. So up to 7 days is turnaround, but beyond 7 days, if I'm not wrong, as per the United Nations Convention's Laws of Sea, you need special permission. But 7 days is a week down the road. Before that, a lot of things may change. Suppose there is a larger amount of refit required, which a captain can say, like, there is, my ship even if you want me to throw me out, I cannot go because I don't have the prime mover working or whatever. So if in that case, it will go into something called a refit. For refit on the shore, or you might need a dry dock, which we are talking about a couple of months down the road. So in naval parlance, as long as we want to keep them, or as long as the captain wants to say, stay here, not and or he can stay here, the workaround is there for them to stay here. But in the larger scheme of things, 183 souls or 186 souls on this ship have been saved, because in this region, in Indian Ocean region, because Diego Garcia is an Indian Ocean region, and a lot of American submarines are in the international waters. For Americans, it is a Turkey shoot. B, because these are single ships without any ASW ships escorting them.
Yeah.
I want to see a submarine coming and attacking a LST with an ASW. That is a war at par. But this is Turkey shoot. So Americans are trigger happy in this region. 186 souls have been saved.
Not just this region.
And remember, one more point. Remember, a Navy can port call any Navy in the world. The UN class permits that. Up to 2 to 3 days goodwill visit, a Navy does not need to seek permission from any country. That is the host country and the guest country.
Yeah.
UN class permits that. So our people who are watching us need to understand. ये government के बीच में नहीं है. It's not between the government. Remember that. The captain takes the call, can port call up to 2 days without permission. Over to you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But, Group Captain Augustine, we know the fact of the matter is, since you mentioned it more than a couple of times, United States is actually not a signatory to UN clause, so they care two hoots about it. Even otherwise, you said they are trigger happy in the region. I think they are trigger happy globally, more so under Trump. I believe Commander Sardana is with us.
Hear me, sir?
Okay, Commander Sardana, as a submariner, please tell us, the submarine spotted the Iranian ship Iris Dana, and given the fact that the two nations, United States and Iran, are in a state of war, they are belligerents, it was a legit target, let's say, for the submarine to shoot at the ship. Tell us, as a submariner, A, were they duty-bound in any manner to warn the Iranian ship, or to assess first whether the Iranian ship was armed? And two, once they had made the kill, they had shot, were they duty-bound in any manner under any international law or convention to rescue the sailors who were going down with the ship?
I'm so glad and happy and proud that as an Indian journalist, you have raised this point. Nobody in India or the world has raised this point, what you have raised, that your enemy was the enemy ship. After the ship has been sunk, your enemy was the enemy ship. Your enemy was not the seafarers. Was it the first rule that no survivors first? You have sunk that enemy ship. That was your job. That was your pride. That was your charter. The submarine has sunk the enemy ship. Great. But as seafarers, there's an international law that the seafarers who are floating in the sea, who are living, fighting for their lives. Sorry, were you not supposed to pick them up, or you were to send a signal to the ship was to send a signal to the Sri Lankan Navy and to the Indian Navy to have the survivors picked up? That is the biggest point what Republic TV has raised today, that it was the job of the American submarine to pick up the survivors at sea, which they did not. So this is a war crime in my view. This should not have happened. This is just against every tenet of a seafarer, of being a submariner. And I am really, my opinion of the U.S. Navy, the U.S. submarine arm has gone down very many notches. And you have raised a very valid point. It was your enemy was the ship, not the seafarers. If you have sunk the submarine, it was your job to pick them up, which they did not, and they scooted and hooted from the venue or the venue of the attack.
Yeah, okay. Let me just go back to Shravan for a bit for more on what's the government position and what's the Navy saying. So, Shravan, when we say India or Indian Navy is the net security provider in the Indian Ocean region, when we say that we are the first responder, one would say, why were we not the first responder? Why was it left to a smaller, less capacity having, if not less capable, but definitely less capacity having Sri Lankan Navy to rescue the Iranian, sinking Iranian vessel and the seafarers?
Well, in fact, as far as first responder is concerned and the net security provider, because that is now becoming the bone of contention here. Now, there is some logic that has to be applied. Number one, as per the UN CLOS agreements that have been signed, it is about not just proximity. First of all, it is beyond 12 nautical miles. Secondly, if you look at the timeline itself, it has already left the Indian waters, first of all, so there is no question of something that can be done. Now, despite all of that, let's be very clear, as far as India is concerned and the response that has come in from the Indian Navy, when the distress call came in, little was known till the time this has just been made public late last night, that we were also part of the rescue rescue operation. In fact, the search and rescue operation has also been carried out in conjunction with the Sri Lankan Navy. So that becomes abundantly clear in terms of our responsibilities and the fact that there was an immediate response that has actually come in. Now, it is important to highlight that for the longest time, I do not know as to why exactly Indian Navy perhaps did not highlight the fact that they were also part of the search and rescue operation when the news was already out. It was much later that, perhaps late at night, last evening is when we were given to understand that they too, along with the Sri Lankan Navy, was carrying out this entire operation. In terms of international agreements, India has essentially done exactly as per the agreements. As far as United Nations is concerned, a belligerent nation right now, and as the experts, our naval experts have been pointing out, that whether at all some action should have been taken or not, it is very clear from the agreements that they should have. The target was the enemy ship, which is exactly what has happened. Thereafter, as per international agreements, you ought to even immediately respond in terms of saving the lives, in terms of providing medical treatment, or for that matter, ensuring that they are taken ashore. And that is exactly what has not been done by the United States of America.
Commodore Singh, what's this brouhaha about? What's this hullabaloo about? These are two belligerents. Iran and the United States are at war. For God's sake, if the US submarine spots an Iranian vessel or vice versa, if they shoot at each other, are we supposed to get inside? Are we supposed to become a referee? Are we supposed to become a United Nations? Are we supposed to get in? Remember the fact that this is a war zone if those belligerent battleships are in front of each other, you can't get in. Or can you? Or are you supposed to do that?
You're absolutely right. Why should we meddle into the affairs of another two enemy countries? First of all, let me tell you, history speaks otherwise. When the Pakistanis torpedoed INS Khukri, do you expect it, or do you think that they should have stopped there and helped our sailors to be retrieved and to be saved from there? When the two countries at war, the submarine is supposed to come hit the men of war. Incidentally, all the ships are also called men of war because you are at war with the other nation, and then run away. Because if the other ships are there in that area, they may hunt down that particular submarine. So for their safety, they don't stay in that area to help, to surface, and then to go and help and take them to the shore, to the hospitals and hand over to the port authorities. It is not done. I mean, I'm surprised. What are we talking about? Then let me come to this Levan also. This ship is threatened. It's scared. Technical glitch is an excuse that we have developed a technical glitch. This is, as per my knowledge, is a ship participating in a international review. It must be totally fit in all respects. They have made the excuse of technical glitch to take refuge, to be safe, because they have experienced that no Iranian ship, warship in particular, is safe anywhere in the world. Because Americans have got
that's all the more reason that we should let them dock and be safe.
Yes. No, but they are not touching. When they are in our water, territorial water, they touch it. When they are in our port, they are not going to hit it, because they are in a country over which they do not have any sovereignty, or they don't have any enmity. And let me tell you another thing, that logistic exchange memorandum of agreement, LIMOA, it's only for helping out. It is between Americans and us, that we can use their ports and they can use our ports. And the agreement that I was talking about the General Security of Military Information Agreement, GSOMIA, this is the one which has been agreement made only with India, not with Sri Lanka. We are not supposed to tell. They will not look at Sri Lanka. We a very prominent nation in the Indian Ocean region. We have power. We have blue water navy. We are sitting in the middle of the Indian Ocean. So why I was telling you before that they must have informed our authorities in Delhi, because we have this agreement with them, but it must be classified. You see, our media people and opposition wants everything to come minute by minute into the public domain. It's a classified information. If they have hit, they may have, again, I am saying they may have, they must have informed them because of this agreement. Americans are not fools. They don't just act, at will. They keep their partners. We are strategic partners. We have got number of defense agreements with the Americans. We are very close friends now. Our Prime Minister taken a very firm position. He went to Israel. What we are doing, in my opinion, the government of India is taking all steps in the right direction. That's the way it should be. Because we also weighing it. We see where the world stands. No European country standing with Iran. Iran, you tell me one thing, what Sri Lankans have been doing. They are hosting these Chinese spy ships, and they have been coming in Colombo and tracking all our movements. They have taken oceanograph, mapping the oceans of the waters which are around us. They are monitoring everything we're aware. They have given that Himantota, that port for 100 years, leased to Chinese. I mean, what is China and Colombo Jugalbandi? Then it comes to Iran. Iran was telling us that to invest in Shaba. Then they made friends with China. China, they are asking investment for China also. When our government, Prime Minister Modi and MEA realized that they are playing double game, this time in the budget, there is a zero funding for the Chaba. Let me tell you that. That's again a great step. So what I mean to say is that, I mean, we are friends of Americans. They are our
friends
partners.
of Iran also. We are friends of Iran, is not an enemy nation, you know. And that's why we have given safe harbor to Iris Lavan. It's just that Iris Dana did not seek it. Otherwise, we would have happily let Iris Dana also, dock and save itself from these prying American subs, which must be infesting the international waters in this region. You know, before I close, Commander Sardana, what I want to understand is, and the viewers would also want to understand, how long can Iris Lavan now stay at shore? If, as Commodore Singh says, that this is out of fear and not because of any technical glitch, then are they allowed to stay forever? Because the war is on and the Americans would be present in the Arabian Sea, and Lavan, whenever it goes back, would again be an easy or a legit target.
I would disagree with Sir on one aspect, that as a technical officer, a ship or a submarine, if it has a technical defect, it has a technical defect. It's not on the whims and fancies of the commanding officer to make it sail. You can't push it through. If there's a defect, it is there. You cannot wish it away. And how much time does it take to repair a warship in a foreign dockyard? Because every ship has its own mechanisms, own systems of first repair maintenance, second repair maintenance. If the ship is not ready and India does not have the infrastructure to make it happen, which kind of diesels, which kind of engines, which kind of propulsion systems are there, which we do not have the wherewithal to repair, it will take its own sweet time. So it can take a few weeks, it can take a few months. And I disagree with Sir that it's that out of fear they walked in. They are not, they are a war-fighting machine. It's not out of fear. I think it's out of genuine engineering defect, which happens on warships all the time. So it is going to take its own time. And how long before they fly in their specialists, whether it's possible, not possible in a few weeks' time. So the ship is here for some time. And how long it can stay? It also depends on the amount of money, to dock a warship. There is a charge to pay, whether it takes berth. So it's going to take its own sweet time. It's not going to, this ship is not going back in the near hurry, that they're going to sail back and go and fight the Iranian war machine and also be exposed to another American submarine to be sunk.
Absolutely. I think irrespective of whether they have dogged out of fear or out of genuine technical glitch, the fact of the matter is India has played its role as a friendly nation insofar as Iran is concerned and allowed their request also more significantly. We have clarified our position vis-a-vis the American submarine and its kill of Iris Dana and why it was Sri Lankan Navy that was the first responder in that case and not Indian Navy. I believe that debate should rest there. Thank you so much, Group Captain Augustine Vinod, Commander Sardana and Commodore Singh for joining us in this broadcast at 10. And with that, we wrap up a short break. Repeat of the debate is on the other side. And of course, be with us as we continue with the latest on everything that's happening in the theater of war in the Middle East.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा सिंह MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिंह
जीरा सिर्फ असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
राजा आर प्योर मसाला। मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
U.S. Central Command began Operation Epic Fury at the president's direction. The goal was to dismantle Iran's security structure and remove imminent threats. Target:
All right, welcome back, friends. Let's start with the breaking news development coming in connection with the situation in West Asia. But closer home, remember what happened with IRIS Dana, the Iranian warship that was torpedoed and taken down by the Americans. And now India clarifying its position. A strong statement coming in because a narrative was sought to be built that India did not come to the rescue of the Iranian ship, despite the fact that IRS Dana was a guest ship during the International Fleet Review in Visakhapatnam and was heading back to Iran from there. Now, India, sources tell us, actually sent in crafts, both ships and aircrafts, for relief and rescue. Also, around the same time, IRIS Lavan, another Iranian warship or battleship that was also part of the International Fleet Review and Exercise Milan, had sought docking at Kochi and was allowed. IRIS Dana never sought rescue or relief from India, and that's why Sri Lanka came in the picture, because IRIS Dana was in the close to Sri Lankan waters in the Sri Lankan EEZ, while IRIS Lavan was closer to Indian exclusive economic zone, sought docking because of some tech issue there, tech glitch there, and was given docking rights at Kochi. So it's not that India was not coming to help or coming to the help of Iranian battleships in that situation. We have Shawan joining us live from the newsroom and Commodore G.J. Singh, defense analyst, joining us live on this broadcast. But before I go to Commodore Singh for some understanding and deep dive perspective, let me take this to Shawan. Shawan, what are you getting to hear from sources on this difference between the way IRIS Dana was treated vis-a-vis the way IRIS Lavan was treated, which was allowed to be docked at Kochi?
Well, in fact, this is now going to fuel the other big concern, that is with regards to IRIS Dana actually making a request to the Sri Lankan authorities. In fact, some reports suggesting, in fact, opposition members in the Sri Lankan parliament have also raised this question, that a distress call was actually raised by the Iranian ship IRIS Dana before the Sri Lankan port authorities, but it seems that there has been a considerable delay, almost of 11 hours. Having said that, Sri Lankan parliament, in fact, hasn't really confirmed whether at all this kind of a call was actually made by the Iranians. Now, just let's be very clear about certain facts here, because there is a lot that has been doing the rounds, particularly social media chatter, about what should have been India's role and the fact that IRIS Dana was effectively a guest of India. Yes, IRIS Dana was certainly a guest of India, but as long as it was in Indian territorial waters. And more importantly, there was no request that was actually made by the crew members of IRIS Dana as to whether at all they wanted some sort of escort vessel to come along with them, because that was not made. And in fact, they had already left after the Milan exercise had concluded, so they were out of Indian territorial waters. They were in international waters, which is considered to be safe. Now, the action of United States of America can certainly be questioned, that whether at all this sort of an action should have been carried out in the first place or not, because if you go by the Geneva Convention, then it is a clear violation itself. The very fact that international territorial waters are meant for peacetime activities, the United States of America has clearly flouted them. One can question whether at all the United States of America had kept India and Sri Lanka perhaps in the loop, that is not certainly required because this was an action outside Indian territorial waters to begin with. As far as Sri Lanka is concerned, the controversy basically begins on the fact that whether at all the Iranian crew members had made a request and that request was essentially rejected, or for that matter they did not act on it, because it seems a second Iranian ship which is now docked in Sri Lanka, this was a request that was made by Iran. As far as India's actions are concerned, it is now very clear that you already have an Iranian ship which is docked in Kochi, and a request that was actually made was taken care of.
Stay with us. We are going to continue to spend next few minutes, if not hours, on understanding what's the international law like, where it goes from here, who was behind this narrative building, and now that government has come out through sources clarifying its position and putting the facts straight out, what happens next? Commodore G.J. Singh, I want you in here before I go to Shawan for more on what the government sources are telling us. An attempt was made, Commodore Singh, to build a narrative that somehow Indian response was lacking, that we did not come to the rescue of Iranian warship that had come as a friendly participant in the international fleet review. Now, that narrative stands busted given the fact that another ship from the same exercise from Iran was given docking rights at Kochi in the same period. So it's just because IRS Dana did not seek docking, it was not given docking. IRS Lavan sought that docking and rescue, and it was given. So where's the fault so far as India's position is concerned?
India is not at fault at all, because we must understand, first of all, as Shavan was saying, that the territorial waters limit is only up to 12 nautical miles. After that, your limit begins what is called EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone. Now, this particular ship, IRS Dina, was in the EEZ zone, which is international waters. Now, what is the limitations of the EEZ? I must tell you that in the EEZ, Sri Lankans have got the rights to explore their bottom of the sea or the ocean bed for any minerals, LNG. It belongs to them. It's their economic zone. Now, if any foreign country like Americans or any for that matter country, India or China or Malaysia comes and starts the digging process and start digging out oil or minerals or any matter of material of importance, then they can object. Otherwise, it just remains an international water through which any foreign vessel can take passage. So when the Americans, this particular ship, Iris, she was in the EEZ, but in international waters. There was nothing to do with the EEZ there.
Okay.
Now, they're justified. Now, number two, we are in agreement with the United States with an agreement which is called the General Security of Military Information Agreement.
Yeah.
And also we have got COMCASA, which is called the Communication Compatibility and Security Agreement, right? Now, under these agreements, the Americans must have been informing the Indian authorities, that is Naval Headquarters or the MEEA, about their intentions. But the problem is that is classified information. That doesn't need to be given minute by minute to the media or to put in public domain or to the opposition. No, that's not done when the two countries are at war.
Okay.
So therefore, in my opinion, they might have told them that we are going to hit this vessel. Now, that ship is getting sunk in the of jurisdiction of Sri Lankan government, Sri Lankan Indian Navy. We can go there on humanitarian grounds. In the case of Of course, probably the message came too late and India did not interfere into that matter. But when it comes to Lavan, they got wisened up. Why? Because they knew that they are not safe if they go into the international waters.
Commodore Singh, in fact, sorry to be interjecting. In fact, we have a picture of Iris Lavan there docking, I believe, at Kochi. These are pictures, or at Vizag, Visakhapatnam. But these are pictures of the exact ship which is now docked at Kochi because they sought, they sent an SOS. They sought docking because there was some technical glitch, and they wanted to be at the shore and not be in the seas. And they were immediately granted permission, following which they docked on March 4. Now, Commodore Singh, you know, let me take this to Shravan. Shravan, the LEMOA and the COMCASA, those are bilateral agreements between Indian and United States forces. Now, do they make it incumbent upon the Americans to tell India, for example, if their submarine is in international waters, but close to India? Not necessarily in Indian waters, but still close to India?
A dispute on this entire matter, and in fact this is what is exactly in the agreement. Let me just quickly take you through some of the common aspects of this particular object, because there's a legal picture here. Now, as far as the responses that are coming in, now there are formal declarations of the war are obsolete post World War II due to UN Charter Article 2. There are restrictions on force. Armed conflicts are covered under the IHL via Geneva Convention. Belligerent action, as reported in the US strikes on Iranian naval ship, indicate an international armed conflict. An armed conflict exists without formal declaration of war, rendering the armed forces of both the countries a valid target for the other. Now, as far as USN submarine strike on IRS Dana in line with the LOAC, however, the submarine has violated the LOAC by not rescuing IRIS Dana survivors after engagement. Since the submarine itself was under no threat, international humanitarian law basically mandates parties take all possible measures without delay to search for, collect and care for shipwrecked, wounded and sick post-engagement. Now, let me just try and explain this. Now, this is as per the agreements that have been signed. As far as the violation is concerned, some have basically argued, but since this was a submarine hit, it is very unlikely that you would have a rescue operation to have been carried out thereafter. But as far as, whether at all this was an attack carried out from the ship itself, then things would have been far different. Now, there is a clear violation, there is absolutely no doubt. Whether at all India and Sri Lanka should have been informed or not on that, the matter is, the opinions are divided because there is no clarity on that entire issue, because this all happens within international waters itself. Now, one can talk about the sphere of influence itself, and within that sphere of influence, one can argue that Sri Lanka should have been kept in the loop, or for that matter, even India. But having said that, there is nothing that actually binds the United States of America to really put India, perhaps in that loop. Now, just a quick point that I want to make here, Abhishek, with regards to the docking that's happened in Kochi, because there, you're talking about two friendly countries here, a neutral party can actually allow them, but there is also a time period. There is a time period till when the ship can actually be docked here. Now, I'm not very sure about whether it is a 7-day period or a little more than that. That clarity perhaps, some naval expert can bring in. But as I understand from what I've picked up so far, is that there is a time period